Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by U.S.A. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. 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 Bring another round.
Here's the suckers.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live once again from, well, all over the fucking place. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Tonight, the boys congregate via live video to discuss the crazy, action-packed insanity that drips from every pore of the explosively badass 1989 movie, Action U.S.A. And speaking of pours, the gang will be pouring a bunch of craft beers into pint glasses as they review the Super Deluxe cigar from Black Label Trading Company. Holy shit, that sounds like a lot of action, and a lot of beers. Which leads me to this, ladies and gentlemen. You longtime listeners will no doubt notice that the show's usual hilarious opening comedic bit is missing from tonight's episode. Apparently one of the guys had a few too many pre-show beverages and went way too far in search of laughs, and your trusty, always responsible host Matt A. Cade made the executive decision to edit a few minutes from the beginning of this episode. I, for one, applaud Matt and his always spot-on instincts, and I suppose that I should also mention that he wrote the words that I'm reading to you right now. My God, that talented man just does it all. And yes, he also wrote those words about himself. Anywho, sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the Matt Cade Show. Damn it, Matt.
Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 139.
139.
Action-packed 139.
I see Tut and Yak Boy made it back from Weasel Fest in one piece from
That's
last
right.
weekend.
That is
You
right.
knuckleheads have a good time down at Roma Crafts.
Pronounced Weselfest.
Weasel Fest, their big inaugural cigars, beer, food, music festival. Oh, it's Tut, if you're watching some
Hill
YouTube,
Country.
drinks from his craft water thermos. How much did that run you?
I don't know. I just saw it and I plunked in my money. That's how a roller rolls.
It cost $30 craft dollars.
Okay. That's all you guys were allowed to spend there, right? Craft dollars.
Craft dollars. That is correct.
Craft dollars. Okay. You guys have fun?
Trade for craft dollars.
Yes.
I had a good time hanging out with my friend Yaks.
You two look like you had a blast. There were some beers. There was some brisket. There was some live music by legendary Ghetto Boys member Scarface, who we all grew up listening to.
And the formaldehyde funk band backing him up.
Yeah, the clips I saw, they were a pretty funky band.
It was actually kind of cool. I think all hip hop artists should have a live band and not play the tracks. Makes a ton of difference.
I think the total opposite.
Did you know that Scarface was also a pretty decent guitar player?
Left-handed guitar player.
Really? He played
And plays pretty decently.
Really? How come you guys left early before the concert was over then?
Because we've been there so long.
I mean, we were literally there from probably 1:30 till 8:30. I mean, don't get me wrong. There there was 2 other good bands there. There was food. There was drinks.
Okay. All right. I'm not judging.
This sounded like you were judging, but that's fine. You can throw
Well,
anything my way.
I'm glad you boys had fun. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to tag along with you next year.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes down the pipe next year.
I do love beer. I do love brisket. I do love cigars, and I do love 90s rappers. So all the core ingredients are there. But I hate people, so that's a big turnoff.
Well, you would have liked this one because everything was still very much COVID, very spread out.
Oh, dude, I hated people way before COVID.
Late brain development.
Yeah. How long have you guys known me? Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun at your first big post-COVID, post-vaccination, maskless.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Party bonanza. Good job, boys. And congratulations, Roma Craft, on from by all accounts a very fun, successful event. But that's enough about Roma Craft. We're not smoking one of their cigars tonight. They'd be so lucky. We're smoking another cigar tonight because here's what we do every episode, folks. In case this is your first time joining us. We pair a premium cigar with a movie the likes that you've never seen, and often a movie you've never even heard of. And we tie it with a craft beer, and we put those 3 things in the TNCC blender, shake it up, put it on. What's the low setting on the blender, Yaks?
Low.
Just low.
Well, you don't make daiquiris at your bar. There's a certain word I was looking for. Forget it. God,
Pulse.
you guys are just pulse.
Puree.
Doc's used a blender before.
Around.
We put it all in the fucking blender and pour it out, and we just gently slide it into your ear holes and your eye holes until you wake up sticky and confused in the morning, and eventually you'll thank us. Does that sound good? Sound about right?
It does. It does, actually.
Okay. So tonight's cigar.
Waking up in the morning sticky and confused.
Hey, Doc, remember Cats Fest?
Trying to forget.
That's a cigar festival. I can't wait to come back. Tonight's cigar is the Super Deluxe by Black Label Trading Company. Why did I pick this cigar? Because
Why indeed?
to me, when I think about this movie, if somebody asked me what they think about what's my opinion of tonight's movie, that is an adjective I would use to describe tonight's movie. Oh man, you haven't seen it? It's Super Deluxe. This movie is super fucking deluxe, and it deserves a super fucking deluxe cigar. The Super Deluxe is a 5 1/4 by 52 box pressed Robusto, Mexican San Andres wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder, and Nicaraguan filler. Okay. I will say price point for later, as always, but I will tell you just briefly a little bit about it, the little bit I know. This new line from Black Label Trading Company was first released in September of last year, 2020. It was a very weird year for cigar releases, a lot of delays.
Yeah.
Couldn't really hold events. COVID caused shipping delays. So if you managed to get a new cigar out last year, you were lucky. And here's what the company's founder and blender, James Brown, said in a press release at that time.
James Brown.
Yep.
Super Deluxe highlights everything I love about bold tobacco. The combination of Nicaraguan fillers and Mexican wrapper work together to create a rich, dark, earthy profile with subtle spice and layers of complex flavors. Now, I usually don't tell you what the blender wants you to taste in it, but I forgot. So I just told you. How many episodes we've been doing this?
139.
Is that it? That was more like 1,000.
That is it. Tell me about it, Doc. More like 1 million. Shut up, liver. We have a history with James Brown and Black Label that stretches all the way back to when we first started the podcast. We attended a blending seminar put on by James at a nearby lounge, TJ's out in McGregor, where he showed us how one of our favorite cigars there is the NBK was rolled. He let us sample the individual tobaccos. It was really a cool little education. Then we later interviewed him on the podcast proper, had him on the show. And then we've had our good buddy and Black Label national sales manager, Derek Matthews, on the show. He actually is one of the few folks to ever sit in and join us for a full show live in person.
Yeah.
Eric, that's my boy. How's he doing?
He's doing well.
Awesome.
He actually played a little hand in helping us track down these cigars tonight. Their cigars have made our year-end best of lists consistently since we've been doing this thing. So this little box pressed motherfucker, the Super Deluxe, has a lot of pressure on its back tonight. We've yet to not enjoy a Black Label cigar. Don't shit the bed, Super Deluxe. Dog, Derek, actually, this is a hard cigar to find. I mean, they're out there, but there's 2 other sizes, I think. And I really wanted to try the Robusto. They have a Lancero and another size. And man, I'm just out. I'm just not smoking Lanceros these days. And the Robusto is such a nice way to get a good representation of the blend. But I wasn't finding any online. So I asked him, as the national sales manager, if he had any leads onto where I could track some down. He said no, but he'd keep his eyes open. And that dude is strong to his word. A week later or whatever, he's on the road training some new sales rep in Michigan. And he gives me a call from Cigar Fellas Cigar Lounge in Davison, Michigan. He's like, guess what, dude? They got Robustos. Put me on the phone with the manager. I ordered 3 for the show, shipped them to me. So thank you, Cigar Fellas. Thank you, Derek. But these were not gifts. We paid for these. So feel free to shit all over them.
All right.
I mean, we always,
Everything you just said before.
we always shit on any cigar, no matter how we get it. But anywho, I'm excited. It's been a while since I smoked a new Black Label cigar that I haven't smoked before. We loved the Lizard King last year. I think it was top 3 for us, maybe.
Yeah, I remember that.
Still love my S&R, the Serpent and the Rainbow. That might be my favorite after the Lizard. Lizard King's my favorite. Then S&R.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of that Natural Born Killer. I got
NBK is a winner, man. I like their morphine. They consistently make really good cigars. So I'm really pumped about. We haven't had one on the show in a while, so I'm pumped. Let's light it up. And while we do that, our resident beer expert and head bartender, the Ted Danson of O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas, which we'll learn from tonight's movie. Every downtown in Texas is historic and looks identical to every other one. But no, Temple is special.
Hurtful. It was hurtful.
Temple is special. Yak Boy is going to talk to us about, in the old days, we would all drink the same beer here at the table in the Corner of Hope where I am now. Nowadays, we are all left to scavenge liquor stores to come up with stuff on our own. But luckily, we have Yak Boy here to educate both us and our listeners and our viewers on what we're all drinking. So you know what, Yaks? I'm going to start. I can't wait till we all get back together here so the doctor can light up a good stogie with us. He can't do it in there in his office. Let's talk to the doctor first. What the hell is that guy drinking?
Beer.
Drink a beer. Okay, moving on. What is Tut drinking?
Now, the good
that
doctor
never gets old.
The good doctor is from the Wild Acre Brewing Company. He's having the Texas Blonde from there in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've heard
I've
this.
never heard of that beer.
Well, that would be surprising because the good doctor is having it for a second time. He enjoyed it on episode 119. Where were you guys?
Wait, did the doctor remember that?
No.
Back when we reviewed Jaws 3D. Remember, nephew?
How does that beer pair? Oh, that's back when the doctor wasn't even trying.
Okay. All right.
That's 20 shows ago. That could have.
Well, dude, the doctor's like, hey, the younger Brody brother wore cowboy boots. That's kind of Texas. You're gonna.
I don't think I bothered to make a try in there. a tie-in.
Well, it fits tonight, Doc, even though none of us remember.
It does indeed fit tonight. The Texas Blonde rolling in at 5.6%, 15 IBUs, but it is a blonde ale, so they showcase more of the maltiness and other flavors that you were going to get through that, as opposed to the hop bitterness. They usually try to lower that down as low as possible. Like I said, Wild Acre, located in Fort Worth, started back in 2016, so they are relative newcomers still,
Okay.
But
how is it, Doc?
Now I'm afraid that I'm going to say something completely contradictory.
No, go ahead. I've written
You're
down.
going to go back and look at the
from
jaws
last
and I'm
time.
all, this is really good. And I'm like, now it's like, nah, it really doesn't do much for me. I don't know. I that's classic TNCC. I do not recall having this at all. It's there really isn't anything. There really isn't anything remarkable about it. It doesn't have a bad taste or anything like that.
Dude, on the website for the last time, this is a remarkable beer.
This is a great beer. I love this beer. It's one of my all-time favorites.
It's the greatest beer.
No, it's I would call it. I have no idea what I said then. I don't remember drinking it. I could see this as being a good beer for this time of year again. This goes down easy. Not much in the way of bitterness. There's a light, very light citrus taste to it. So I guess I'll go with that. Nothing remarkable, but goes down nice and easy.
Are you getting any floral notes? I noticed there was a bluebonnet on the can.
Well, let me see.
Yeah, because they probably don't actually put bluebonnets in the beer. Am I right?
I wouldn't say
No.
floral, no.
Is it really illegal to pick a bluebonnet?
Not really, but they don't want you to, because they want you to let them be, because the flower part obviously is where all the seeds are, and once you see the flowers, they're getting ready to put out new seeds to make more bluebonnets, which we all love to see, more and more of them every year.
I love bluebonnets.
Real quick, there is a specific tie-in, obviously, as the main female role in this movie is not blonde. The Texas Blonde is dedicated to all blonde women in the 80s who put on a denim skirt and went to a honky-tonk dance hall.
I love the pairing, Doc.
Maybe ended up in a bathroom.
And it works tonight, unlike back on the Jaws 3 episode.
Wait, was Bess Armstrong from Texas?
No, you're not gonna make this work though. Hey, Tut, real quick, before we go to your beer, man, I got some really nice dark chocolate and that chewy, rich sweetness on the cold draw, like the chewing tobacco sweetness. It was a super nice cold draw. And what do you get? I'll tell you I'll tell you listeners after Tut says, I just lit up. What are you getting your first few puffs?
It's oddly enough, I didn't get the chewing tobacco sweetness on the cold draw. I got more of a tea, just a straight up tea taste. The cold draw, it had a nice little bit of a spice right there at the very initial deal, but then a nice.
Were you talking about the cold draw or after you lit up?
After I lit up, the spice hit there, and
That's
then,
called the lit draw.
Okay, the lit draw, and then a nice light to medium coffee comes through on the palate that I'm really kind of digging right now.
I'm getting a nose tingling black pepper through the nose, which is common with the nice Mexican San Andres wrappers.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite smokes that feature it, from the Underground to the Norteño. They give you that really nice spice through the nose. And Tut, we're kind of copacetic here. My first thoughts on the draw were kind of a French roast, kind of darker black coffee as well.
Yeah. Mighty fine cigar, easy smoking, easy draw, nice smoke profile.
These guys know how to make good box press cigars. I tend to really like their box press selections. But yeah, right now just a really nice spice through the nose and some nice coffee on the draw. But I'm literally centimeters into this thing.
Yeah.
All right, what is Tut pairing his cigar with tonight, Yak Boy?
From the wonderful Austin Beer Works, located in Cincinnati. Now it's in Austin,
damn it.
Texas.
Oh, okay. You
It's having
jokester.
the Pearl Snap Pilsner.
Pearl Snap Pilsner.
We got a lot of Pearl Snap buttons on tonight's movie, don't
Yeah,
we?
Yes,
we
we
do.
do. Pearl Snap is snapping in with 5.3%. Snapper.
It's snappy.
Snappy.
I
5.3%
I
ABV
appreciate it.
and 45 IBUs.
I'm sorry, what was the ABV?
5.3.
Okay.
Beer Works started back in 2011. They are very dedicated. They only can their beer.
I respect
All
that.
about the cans. Well, and keg, but I mean, no bottles is what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. The Pearl Snap, what was it? Lager? I'm sorry.
It's Pilsner.
Pilsner.
A Pilsner.
Straight
German.
up Pilsner.
Tut, are you getting any flavors out of that Pilsner?
It's a Pilsner.
That's what I asked that. It was kind of a rhetorical question. Is it good? Is it a good Pilsner?
It's a good Pilsner. It's actually, to me, it's a little hop forward for a Pilsner. I mean, it's still a Pilsner, so it's nothing that's going to elbow you out there. But I do think that it's a little hop forward. Punches a little bit above its weight.
Well, I did say it is 45 IBUs. So I mean, there are people, claiming that are IPAs that are literally like 50.
Yeah.
So you're almost at the IPA range.
Yeah. And it was funny because I went into the beer store today, and he's used to seeing me buy all these, peanut butter stouts, cocoa nib, reds, whatever. And I'm sitting there going through my motions, and I'm trying to pair it. I'm not even like looking for sometimes I'll have a specific beer in mind. Like I want to do a stout this week. This week I was like, let's just try to find something to pair with this damn movie. And so I finally did, and then I noticed the Pearl Snap right off the bat. And I went all the way through this thing, and he thought I was looking for like, some fancy beer. And I come up with a Pilsner, and he was like, just a Pilsner, huh? And I was like, hey man, sometimes you got to go back to basics. Actually, Cody and I talked about that this weekend. I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just need a good beer. Forget all the fancy stuff. Beer.
Sometimes you just need to walk into a humidor or a beer store and have the guys leave you alone. Quit judging me, Haas. Just let me do my thing. Okay. Man, as you were talking to at about, I don't know, what is that, about an inch mark? By the way, construction is awesome. Perfect burn line. Man, all of a sudden some minerals started to join that black pepper.
Yeah.
It didn't kill it. It's still very strong and spicy through the nose, but that mineral is a really nice touch. And the coffee is still going full strong. This is honestly the kind of cigar I kind of wanted tonight.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I picked it because the film is Super Deluxe. But you know what, guys? We're Super Deluxe. We could smoke this cigar. It pairs with the Tuesday Night Cigar Club any night of the week.
That is true. It's ballsy enough to do it.
So far, but the night is young. The cigar is young. Okay. Well, I shot off my big mouth, so why don't you tell everybody what interesting choice I made tonight, Yak Boy?
You decided to go right back to Blue Owl Brewing.
Hey, they surprised me last episode with that grapefruit beer, which actually ended up being really good and paired really well.
The Teeny Hopper, yes.
For our Teeny Bopper movie.
This time, from Blue Owl, you have had the Smash Sour Mash IPA.
We got a lot of shit smashing up in tonight's movie, boys.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It is a seasonal sour from them. 6.7%. Only says 40 IBUs, but I am also going because it's going to be a sour IPA. Which they said, you're not getting as much of the hop kick to it, but you're going to get more of that acid flavor, the acidic flavor that you get from a sour.
I'm hopeful after drinking 4 of these, my lips will unpucker by the weekend. But much like that grapefruit beer, the first few sips were like, oh shit, what did I do? But once again,
I have burned through my taste buds, so it tastes fine,
Once it calms down, now am I right, Yaks? The story behind this, they only use what, one hop and one something else. Like it's one Texas hop and then like an Australian, is it Australian malt?
Yes.
And that's it. It's not a bunch of crazy stuff. And I like the fact that they just used a Texas hop because we're doing a Texas movie tonight. And obviously things smash constantly in tonight's movie. So a smash sour Texas. Oh, they spelled Texas Texaus for Texas and Australia. It's a mashup, boys. IPA. It is not. This cigar is so strong. It's fine with the acidity of the sour. I'm obviously going to change gears and try it with a normal beer here in a little while. But I like these weird, what is it called? Blue owl beers. Because it sounds like stuff you wouldn't like. I hate grapefruit, but I kind of dug that grapefruit beer. I'm not a big sour guy, but this is actually pretty enjoyable. Where is Blue Owl out of again?
I think that Blue Owl is Austin. I think.
They're in Austin. Okay. Yes, Austin. And I said it backwards. It is an Australian Vic Secret hop and a Texas Llano Pilsner malt. So Texas supplied the malt, and Australia, our friends across the pond, supplied the hop. To be continued on this. It is not surprisingly messing with the cigar, I don't think, because Tut's having a wussy beer, and he's having the same flavor notes that I'm getting.
Now, I don't think he's having a wussy beer.
That's not a slam on Tut. That's just a slam on Pilsners are Switzerland of beers. They're not going to upset anybody.
That's because they're German. You've now insulted the Germans.
And the Swiss, probably.
Yeah, they really don't ever do anything.
And Stephen Hawking's estate. I'm pissing off everybody tonight. God. And you know what sucks? I'm a nice guy. Like, Yak boy, what are you drinking? Hey, we three paired up. Texas beers, Pearl Snap, Smash. Dude, you better bring it.
Well, I can't say as I'm going to break any ground here, but from Distal Brewing out of Normal, Illinois. That's right.
Isn't that like the Stranger Things thing? No, that's Hawkins, Indiana.
Hawkins, Indiana. Normal, Illinois. Distal Brewing started back in 2013, and they did a wonderful called. They're big fans of the Grateful Dead. They have a series of beer called the Deadhead series, which is a number of various hazy IPAs.
Hey, I drank one of those on the show.
Man.
I remember.
So I did number, I believe, 5 in that line is Driving That Haze, hazy IPA.
Driving That Haze.
Yes.
There's a lot of driving in tonight.
There is just an inordinate amount of driving in this thing. The movie literally just starts with driving.
That's true. Tell us more.
It is a hazy IPA. Which is a New England style. It's lighter than what you would think of. It only has 55 IBUs, so it's very middle of the road. It's 7%, but it does. I mean, it's very, very citrusy. As a hazy, it almost basically kind of looks like orange juice, but other than that, like I said, the hop bite is very negligible. I mean, it's still there. It's in the background, but like I said, it's only 55, so it just very smooth.
Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. And with considering, the number of flavors coming out of the cigar, I did want something with a little bit of flavor, but I was thinking, I don't want to go too crazy and have it just try to battle with it.
Pairing well so far?
Pairing very well so far.
You know what? I'm not a hazy IPA fan, but I've done a lot of them on the show, and they do tend to pair well. They don't. They dance nicely with the cigar. Occasionally, some of that citrus and sweetness will actually help a boring cigar be a little more exciting, kind of pull some flavors out of it. Okay. All right. Well, hey, speaking of cigars, y'all know who makes some really, really flavorful ones, don't you?
Who's that?
Glad you asked, Yak Boy. Our good friends over at Drew Estate. And one of the most flavorful offerings in their vast portfolio is the Herrera Steli Miami. Crafted by Level 9 Cuban rollers at the famed El Titan de Bronze on Calle Ocho, the Herrera Steli Miami line is expertly rolled with a lavish. Oh, it's lavish?
It is. Has always been. Always will be.
25 episodes straight, I've gotten it wrong. Lavish. You know what? I'm just going to come up with a different word for that. They gave us that adjective. I'm going to come up with something else. I'm going to go to the thesaurus and pick out something that means lavish. A lavish Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper over a rich Ecuadorian Sumatran binder with select fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The new look of Herrera Steli Miami features rich black and gold packaging. It's available in 5 sizes. We recently gave I believe it was the Bellicoso, pyramid-shaped cigar, a 90 rating, solid 3 thumbs up from us.
It was very good.
Go read that review. This cigar is tasty, and it is now available at Drew Diplomat retailers everywhere. So go get you some. And I'd also like to take a quick moment to talk about something very cool, Cigar World. Cigar World is an online site for cigar smokers. There you can get cigar news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Also on the site is a cigar research panel called the Testing Lab. You can sign up to give your input on new cigars by taking surveys and testing cigars. Check it out at cigarworld.com/testing lab. I actually looked up a cigar. I was thinking about getting on the show the other day. I did a Google search.
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped up was Cigar World, the testing lab, the page for that cigar.
Yeah.
And I actually got a lot of useful information out of it. So
good deal.
head over to cigarworld.com. You will not be disappointed. All right, boys, let me take a puff and a sip, and then we have our third juicy nugget of things to talk about tonight, the film.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm looking forward.
Had any of you 3 heard of this film prior to me sending it to you?
Never heard of it.
All right. This film recently got a breath of fresh air blown into its lungs. Its long dead, buried lungs. Man, this one came and went. This wasn't even one you'd see on video shelves when we were growing up.
I've never even heard of it.
It just kind of sunk into that weird netherworld of movies that were made and then disappeared. And a distributor recently brought it back. I think right before COVID, they were going to try to do like a revival, like in like art house theaters and stuff. Like whoever found this was passionate about it. Like he really wanted this movie so he cleaned it up, did like an HD Blu-ray transfer of it. And then, you know, how the last, 16, 18 months have gone. That just never kind of took off. So I've been waiting, and finally it came up for rental. Action U.S.A.
Dun, dun, dun.
1989. That's the name of the film. Action U.S.A.
Was it the working title though? Because
it was not, Doctor. If you watch the end credits of the film, they have some bloopers.
Yeah.
And during the bloopers, they put to you noobs at home, the thing they clap in front of the camera.
The clapper thingy.
We'll call it a clapper thingy. They actually put that in front of the camera, and you see that the original title was A Handful of Trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed it was something else.
And I think they were wise to transition to Action USA, because to me, this movie couldn't exist with any other name but Action USA. It is Action USA.
It's a lot of action, that's for sure.
Maybe Action Texas. That might have actually been more.
Yeah, I can see that.
ATX.
So when you said
Action
the thing and you
Texas.
were like Action USA, I was like, like Invasion USA, like.
No. Action USA. It sounds like a place I take my kids to like jump on trampolines and like play in ball pits. It sounds like one of those horrible experiences. But no. 1989's Action USA. The film was written by David Reskin and directed by a fellow named Jon Stewart. Not that Jon Stewart, thank God. And while we haven't featured any of Jon Stewart's other directorial projects on the podcast, we certainly have seen him perform stunts or enjoyed his work as a stunt coordinator on the show over the years. In such TNCC favorites as Death Spa,
Hey.
that had some cool stuff.
Yeah.
The Stoned Age,
Yeah.
No.
he did stunts in that. And several Leprechaun and Children of the Corn movies. This guy
Nice.
a long resume is in the stunt world. In fact, when Peter Horton was punching out Malachi in Children of the Corn, he was actually punching out Jon Stewart wearing a long red-haired wig.
Nice.
I'm guessing.
Oh, come on. I thought you'd done some special research there.
There's not a lot of research on Action USA. I did that. I turned over every rock I could find, and there was nothing.
It was just one rock, wasn't it?
It was, and guess what I found under it, Yax? Another beer. Okay. Well, are you boys ready?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Let's strap on our helmets and get into this thing.
Tud, I was kind of hoping you'd wear your cowboy hat tonight, but I don't think it'll work with that ponytail.
No, it won't. I got it right over there. But I do have my Texas shirt on.
Mr. Tuttle, our beloved Mr. Tuttle, during the break, was recently accepted into the University of Texas Computer Science program as he gives the hook 'em horn sign.
All right.
We're very proud of him. We're very happy for him.
And I can't let you down, man.
Oh, let's see if it'll fit on that ponytail.
It does.
It does.
Come on now.
Oh,
When in Rome.
do as the Texans do.
Should I get a hat as well?
Yes, you have a cowboy hat?
That's not as snazzy as that one, but it'll do.
You know what? We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have 50% of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club in cowboy hats. Stay tuned. All right, boys. Now that the doctor, welcome back, has his cowboy hat on, he's filled with a renewed, he's got the spirit of Texas flowing through his veins.
Yeehaw!
Got that Texas spirit right there.
Hey, are all
I don't know
Texas,
about you, Tud. I'm ready to hit up the honky tonk.
I'm going to
Are all
put my pearl snaps on. Let's go, buddy.
are all Texas boys as ugly as you two cow fuckers?
Yeah, and the one guy laughs.
Yeah, Eddie, we'll get to that. I love that scene. They were drunk. All right. Well, we start things off with a very testosterone-drenched opening title sequence, which you would expect from a movie called Action USA, where a blue souped-up 80s Corvette with like a 3-foot shaker scoop sticking out of the hood of
You
this
can't
thing.
even see around this thing.
It's like, how could he drive with the engine sticking so far up out of
I'm
the
surprised the
hood?
helicopter flyover didn't knock it.
And a license plate that reads Sleek 1 is flying up and down Texas roads. The driver, Billy Ray, has one hand around a beer bottle
All right, I
and
can't
his
wait.
other hand stuck between the cute babe's legs riding shotgun. A rockin' anthem plays as he kicks on the car's nitrous. Watch this, baby. Undoes the nitrous tank, and they zip all over the place, eventually ending up at a house out in the suburbs. They aren't inside 1 minute before Carmen, that's the chick's name, peels her top off. Oh, yeah, those are nice, Billy Ray says.
Real nice.
And they start getting to it on the couch. But before they can smash their genitals together,
Oh, God.
as I hold up my smash
All right.
boot,
Dude, are we going to do a smash reference every time something smashes?
Give me some
Because
credit.
that'll take a long time.
Tut,
If you had said there had been a
Literally
horrible
just-
mashup while doing the ADR for these first several scenes, I would have gone along with that.
there's a few. It's hard to capture ADR when you're driving 200 miles an hour in a convertible. They do their best.
Well, I couldn't quite figure out why he needed to turn the nitrous on when he literally just has these ginormous intakes, just already supercharging this Stingray engine. And he doesn't have just like one; he's got two. They're like lined up.
Well, everybody knows those intakes are for show, Yaks, but that
And
nitrous,
he literally
that's
has
for
the
dough.
wheelie bar on the back of the car,
Yeah.
just so the front end doesn't fly up.
Oh, it's something. But before they can get busy and become one, the front door gets kicked down and two goons barge in.
It's not really kicked down. The guy literally just pushed it in with his hand.
They took the hinges off and the bad guy just pushes it down. That's one of the few cheats in this movie. Everything else is pretty hardcore. They haul Billy Ray away kicking and screaming. After that is they punch the chick Carmen square in the nose for running her mouth.
And I love the point blank camera shot, the POV with the dude looking back.
I guess you could say they smashed her nose in.
Knew it was coming.
No, I'm not going to do that one. But you're right. They have some of the best. Well, one, all the car stuff, there's a lot of POVs to where you're like on the front of the car. And then whenever they punch somebody, it's just right into your face
Every now and then, and normally I'd be like, you got to do that. God, it worked on this film, and I enjoyed it.
Action USA. It's hilarious because you can totally tell this flick is directed by a stuntman. Everybody drives like a maniac, even when there's no cause to. Like these guys, they punched her out, and they're just taking this guy somewhere. They're squealing around corners at like 1,000 miles an hour.
No,
they're like running.
There's no blending in. Act cool, don't draw attention.
They're running people off the road. They're shooting their guns in the air. And dudes just punch each other constantly, even when unprovoked. As they're walking Billy Ray to an awaiting helicopter, one of the thugs, Garrick, says, "Let's go for a ride, shithead." And just starts punching him in the stomach, even though Billy Ray's walking like voluntarily. He's not putting up any kind of struggle. You know what? The bullhorn, the director, go ahead and punch him. Really? I mean, he's playing that.
Yeah.
Punch him 3 times. No. Make it 4 times. Punch him right in the belly. God, there's so much punching and just.
We don't fuck around in these here parts.
Oh, it's crazy. So they get Billy Ray up in the helicopter, and for several minutes we watch as Billy Ray dangles upside down from the chopper with just one of the tough guys holding his legs. They're zipping around all over the place, even flying really low through the city of Waco, which is right up the road from us. At one point, they're like flying through the city.
Through the buildings. I was like, how did they get that signed off?
And you
I can't quite figure it out because they literally start out like, because apparently Billy Ray has something they want. So like this becomes the most expensive interrogation I've ever seen. We're going to tell us what we want. Let's go to the chopper.
Well, see, I didn't know.
You have to file. I was like, even in the 80s, you have to file a flight plan. If a helicopter takes off the ground, there's going to be other police helicopters. There'll be Air Force, especially just zipping through the buildings.
I didn't realize where this was located, and then all of a sudden I saw that Jalisco building, and I was like, Jalisco? Wait, is this in Waco?
Yeah, the whole thing was shot in and around Waco, Texas, which here in the Corner of Hope is about 30 miles up the road, which is really cool. I didn't know that going into this.
When I'm also it's also very weird because of all the times I've ever been in Waco that there wasn't just places going, oh, back in the day, Action USA, right here. This was the spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Even they didn't know about it. But dude, I thought the whole thing with him, because the whole time you're seeing these crazy helicopter stuff, that dude, you see a real live human being hanging off that thing, waving his arms. It was impressive. It was very impressive.
I'm wondering, and I couldn't figure it out, whether they had a safety harness running down through one pant leg. He had one leg wrapped around the strut of the helicopter, but then the bad guys were holding the other leg. And I thought maybe because the way the guy's hand was positioned, he was holding just on that leg, maybe they had run a safety harness down through there that he was hiding, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart was a pro, man. I don't think they were shortchanging the safety stuff, but,
Yeah,
but
just
they hit it very well. I mean, they knew what they were doing. But what was even more impressive than the helicopter dangling stuff is when Billy Ray finally tells the guys what they want to know, the location of some diamonds that he has hidden in his gym locker. The goofball holding him accidentally drops his ass, and we watch as a stuntman plunges from the helicopter all the way down into a river, even doing some flips down the way. Dude, that had to be a drop of like at least 150 feet, right? Yes.
It looked like it, yeah.
And the way they cut it, I think they really had got some dude to make that fall. It was impressive.
Yeah, it was a really good looking shot. I think you're right. I think that someone actually did make it.
I'm sure the guy was like, do I really have to jump out of the hell? Do you want the Action USA money or not?
All right, give me 2 ibuprofen and watch this.
All right. Everyone's going to see Action USA. I should probably do this. So get this. Not only does Billy Ray survive that fall, but he immediately swims to shore where Carmen is waiting for him in her Porsche. Somehow, she woke up from getting bopped in the nose, got in her car, and followed that helicopter and is waiting for him. That's a good woman.
Dedication right there.
Just trying to figure out how could she follow him. They're flying through buildings. They're going under bridges and all this craziness.
Action.
Just
USA.
like all good Texas fillies, they're going to stand by their man.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch Tut tonight as he wrestles with his desire to wear the cowboy hat, but his ponytail that's fighting against it.
No,
He's gonna go
over here. Yeehaw!
I can't help
cut
it to
out
see
the back of the cowboy hat so that ponytail.
Yeah, cut a little hole in the back of that
grow
thing.
through.
No, it's the cans. It's hard to wear cans with a hat.
Okay, you've done it several times on the show with no issue.
Ponytail and a cowboy hat. That's what you call a dichotomous nature.
I like it. I like it.
The doctor hasn't taken his cowboy hat off once. Just saying. Getting some thunder here.
Yeah, there's some big old thunder.
Hey, kind of like the Garth Brooks song, "The Thunder Rolls."
Was that a message that the Lord is displeased?
Well, that's also about the physical abuse of women, much like Carmen got smashed in the nose just a second ago. And the thunder rolls. Okay, get this. The bad guy's helicopter is running out of gas. They've been in the air, what, 5 minutes?
They're like, go after him. But then the helicopter pilot, like, I can't. All this maneuvering is eating up all the gas we have. You assholes. I could have just flown straight to this river. But no, you made me go like the most.
I was literally flying through buildings.
Times.
Well, here's what these dudes do. They just lower the helicopter down into the middle of a road, jump out, and steal a Mercedes from some old couple to continue the chase. Get your ass out of the car, you old fart. They punch his grandpa in the belly and take his car.
These guys are professionals.
They actually spare him. He's the one guy in the movie that doesn't get punched in the belly. So now we're treated to a pretty badass and very nauseating, at least for me, car chase through downtown Waco. There's one point when the cars are zipping around and around and around this multi-level parking garage.
That's a really tight and good shot, though.
Well, it is. The camera's mounted on the hood, and I thought I might barf. Like I was getting dizzy watching this.
I was like, that's some pretty damn good driving.
So you got nauseated from the actual car chase and not the Waco.
Doctor, I'm going to just say it now. I am not a Waco fan. I've done a lot over the years to avoid going to the city of Waco at all costs. They're a peculiar bunch in Waco, or as we call it, wacko. I don't spend a lot of time in Waco. I never have, but I might now just to go see where they shot Action USA.
I'll go find this parking garage just to look at it, but that's about it. I'm like you. I avoid Waco at all cost. But It did rise them up a little bit in my esteem, just knowing.
Oh
that
yeah,
this
the
film
fact that
was
they were
here.
cooperative and let Action USA film there, that did actually soften.
Somebody had to know that a chopper was going to be flying through downtown.
Oh yeah, dude, watch the end credits. They thank every single business in Waco. Like everyone signed off on this thing. Well, back out on the streets, Billy Ray takes a sharp turn in the Porsche, and Carmen almost falls out the door. She's hanging out the side of that thing forever as cars are almost hitting her.
That's a good little sequence because, I mean, I swear that stunt person's butt hit the pavement right there when it first came out.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to.
And man, the hired gun named Perez chasing them is just a lousy shot. He's sticking out the sunroof of that Mercedes, and he's fired at least 100 rounds out of a revolver, and he's not hitting anything.
But again, you've got a car chase going on with this dude hanging out the sunroof, and this car's going all over the place, and this dude's still up. It's not like a dummy up there on that sunroof. There's a stunt guy just riding this thing.
It looked like a dummy to me.
Well, he is, but it was. I was impressed with the sequence.
So Doctor can talk shit about the guy playing Perez, but I can't say anything about Stephen Hawking. Come on.
As far as I know, this guy didn't have a physical handicap.
Didn't he?
He looked like he was on a tremendous amount of HGH.
He was pretty ripped. They didn't have that back then, Doctor. It was just the old stuff, the classics.
The classic stuff.
So up ahead, there's a school bus full of teenagers that has had a fender bender with a motorhome that's blocking the road. But Billy Ray says, fuck it, and just hits the gas pedal, which sends the Porsche up the back of a tow truck ramp, soaring over the bus and over a huge line of stalled cars and traffic on the other side of the bus until it finally topples over and crashes. Then the bad guys, Perez and the other dude, Garrick, they say, fuck it. But instead of jumping the ramp, they just decided to drive straight through the motorhome. Smashed right through it, they did. Unleashing a giant fireball. On the other side, they scoop up the unconscious bodies of Billy Ray and Carmen and throw them in their Mercedes and head off.
How are they not dead?
I was about to say that little Porsche was like done for. I was hoping there was not a stunt person in that car when they hit it. Because
speaking of Waco, this is the first of many scenes in this movie where I got the feeling that there was like a mention in the Waco Tribune newspaper that an action movie was going to be filming somewhere. There is an inordinate amount of just bystanders standing around watching all the fun stuff. And like,
hey, y'all make sure to come out to at 3 p.m. to Highway or say Street 3, dude, 3rd Street, because there's going to be an Evel Knievel car jump. This
movie had extras out the fucking ass. I mean, Waco didn't. I mean, there wasn't this much foot traffic back in the day before Chip and Joanna had their little paws into everything, and everybody, dude, there's people just standing there watching, like clapping as the cars shoot over. Like it gets way more obvious later on during the car chases where there's just people clearly behind barricades watching the action. But man, all this was very impressive. If you're going to call yourself Action USA, you better start the movie off on a high note.
It's like one of those Disney park attractions where it's just one big stunt show, right? I mean, one trick after another.
I was actually hoping that's what the movie would be. Unfortunately, everybody talks at some point.
For a good while, they were driving that haze.
Driver's seat.
Seems like a reach, yes.
It works, though, doesn't it? It works.
The bad guys pull over once they're out of town, and they yank the lovebirds from the car. Eat lead, fucker, Perez says as he shoots Billy Ray twice in the chest. As his heart explodes and blood goes everywhere.
My favorite is the motherfucker.
As he tumbles to the ground, he chooses as his famous last words. It kind of sucks, but it kind of fits. Motherfuckers.
Dude, there's so much great delivery of cheesy lines. Even Perez is so angry there. They know they're going to kill him. So, eat lead, fucker. I mean, just that's
And then once again, this is literally like the longest, most intricate, most expensive interrogation I've ever seen. Normally, in any other movie, they break into the house, they would have tied him to a chair and begin like pounding him,
But here,
like just punching him over and over with the guy with the megaphone. Punch him again. Punch him.
but Yax, here's what the funny thing is: they go through hell to capture this dude, and they finally get him. You ready to talk? Fuck you. Kill it. Fill him full of lead. There's no interrogation.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, he already technically told them where the diamonds are.
They thought he did. You're right. They thought he did. Another car filled with guys shooting guns shows up on the scene, and it makes the bad guys haul ass away in their Mercedes. So these new guys start chasing Carmen through the woods, which the POV shaky shots continue from her point of view through the trees. I almost barfed then too.
Yeah, this is a bit much. And the leg, the POV, the perspective leg shot.
Yes. Well, she has nice legs.
Yeah, but still.
Until finally, FBI agent Clay Osborne tackles her to the ground. He identifies himself, shows her his badge, but when she struggles with him and tells him to get off of her, he slaps the shit out of her. Bitch. That's our hero.
That's twice in like an hour for her.
Dude, she's gotten slapped.
First Perez gave her the knuckle sandwich and went, "Fuck you, bitch," or "Shut up, bitch." And then this guy just gives her an open hander.
And he just does a simple. He doesn't really know her that well, so he doesn't do the. He just.
Bitch.
Oh, and this is our hero, by the way. So Osborne is the crazy white federal agent with the mullet and the army fatigue jacket. And his partner, Earl McKinnon, a.k.a. Panama, is the by-the-book mustached black federal agent who's a few years away from retirement. Doctor, this is 89. When did Lethal Weapon come out?
87.
87. Lethal Weapon 2 came out in 89. I remember that. When did Shotgun Jones come out? 89 also. This was a winning formula, folks.
I didn't make that connection. Good.
Black
Oh my
Cop,
God. The minute I saw him like chasing her, I was like, is that Riggs?
Black Cop, White Cop. They paid attention to the trends.
I was thinking more Miami Vice, but you're right. Yeah, this is definitely more Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah, that's more Shotgun Jones.
I was waiting because, and we will get to that point, but I was simply waiting for Panama to be like, I'm too old for this shit.
So he says that a couple times, like, I don't know if I'll make it till retirement. So anywho, they tell Carmen because she witnessed a murder, they're going to take her to catch a flight to where she'll be kept somewhere safe from the bad guys. This is a good point, Tut, to ask about the cigar. I've actually had a nice, it was alluded to on the cold draw. I have had some nice dark chocolate join that coffee on the draw, and that mineral and the spice. The spice is tamed down for me in the middle portion. The retrohale is very nice with that tamed down spice and the mineral. But I've started to get dark chocolate with that coffee. You getting it?
Not the dark chocolate, but the mineral has definitely made itself known.
On the draw, are you still just primarily coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Yax?
That chocolate, I can agree with you there. That mineral, I mean, I'm hit about halfway right now. So the mineral has become very prevalent, like y'all have spoken about. Chocolate has been there. But, I mean, for my cigar, I mean, I had a very strong chocolate on the cold draw.
Yeah.
But it was very sweet, that chocolate. It was almost milk chocolate-y. And I was kind of surprised about that, just considering I was like, I figured the cigar, the coffee for me is very, very dialed down. It's very low. I mean, I got some of that in the beginning.
More chocolate than coffee, really.
Yeah.
I'm getting a mixture of both. Tut's getting none of the chocolate, but we're all getting that mineral and spice on the thing. Construction-wise, I'm relighting just because I'm running my mouth.
Man, this thing is flawless. I never thought I'd say this, but it's almost too well constructed because it's so easy to work. I mean, so easy to draw. I'm not having to work. This is not making me work at all for this thing. It's chock full of flavor.
That's good, Tut. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, in life, sometimes, if it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. But this so far is just really, really good.
All of a sudden, Tut Cigar blows up in his face.
Action USA.
Action USA. Okay, how are y'all's beers going along with it?
Mine's out of the way.
I can't believe that mine is, but yeah, it's we're all getting the
I
same.
was a little concerned just in the beginning. Like I said, that I had that sweetness in the cigar, so I was wondering if the hazy IPA, because it does have a little bit more citrusy, was influencing that, but it really wasn't. So I kind of like it. I mean, beer is very light, very dialed down for an IPA, because it is, like I said, it's that New England style hazy. So, and this cigar is, I mean, it's not just an overt powerhouse, but it has more flavors to.
Yeah, right. Especially I'd put the strength full in the first third. That spice was enough to kick it into full. In the medium portion here, I'd say the strength is a medium, and the body's a medium. Which for that much Nicaraguan tobacco and a Mexican wrapper, it's kind of surprising it's not a little stronger, but it'll be curious to see where it goes from here. Okay. Remember when Billy Ray told the goons that he hid the diamonds in his gym locker?
Uh-huh.
Which, dude, that guy driving around that Corvette with that chick, pounding down those road beers, how much time's he spent in the gym?
Not a lot.
Well, we see the guys breaking into his locker, and the only thing in his gym bag they pull out is a jock strap that he wrote, "Eat me, Frankie,"
Billy Ray.
With black Sharpie. Nice.
Even dead, he keeps on it.
Billy Ray's 3 steps ahead of you.
Well, he's not. No,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Motherfuckers!
Billy Ray.
Rest in peace, Billy Ray.
Ew!
Unlike Stephen Hawking, I don't believe he ever cheated on Carmen. So.
Oh, I'm sure he did plenty of
He
times.
probably didn't have time to.
He's cheating on somebody with Carmen.
I think he actually had another chick that we didn't see in that Corvette. Billy Ray. The girl, says Garrett, we must find the girl. She knows where those diamonds are. But it turns out that finding Carmen might be easier than you think, because FBI brainiac Osborne calls the local sheriff to let them know what shitty motel they're spending the night in because they missed their flight. And of course, that shitty little local sheriff is in crime boss Frank Navarro's back pocket. Did any of y'all recognize our hero, FBI agent Osborne?
It looked familiar, but I couldn't place him.
It looked like Dwight Yoakam's dad.
It was indeed Dwight Yoakam's dad.
I looked him up on IMDb and saw a picture of him from recent times. And when I saw the picture, then I knew who he was, where I'd seen him recently or in the last
Where
several.
do you recognize him from? And by the way, Tut, that's one of the worst insults you could give somebody.
Why?
He played.
Looks like Dwight Yoakam's dad.
Why?
I think this guy's younger than Dwight Yoakam.
He's still, and this was probably at least 20 years later. I know it's 30 years later now, but he played Mac's father on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a guy who's in prison.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. He was a reoccurring.
Yeah, he was on about 10 episodes, but like his Mac and Charlie are afraid of him, and he just really wants them nothing to do with him.
And he dated Charlie's mom in one.
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember that. For me, I remembered him because he has those huge blue eyes. Like he has really big, giant, kind of buggish blue eyes. He was the crazy Satan worshiping older brother in the awesome horror flick Hack-O-Lantern, which I think came out the year before this in '88. And he was supposed to be like a teenager or early 20s in that. So how he's become this grizzled war vet FBI agent in a year.
It's amazing what that coat will do for you.
The fatigue jacket does a lot. It does. Hey, that's why when we were kids in high school and I went in to buy beer in the convenience store, I'd wear my uncle's Vietnam Veterans of Association golf shirt. You okay, buddy? I'm like, the storms, they get to me. Fucking 16-year-old kid. It worked once. We got beer once.
It actually did work once?
Yeah, it did.
I thought they like totally called you on. You're like, oh, I've had a rough day. Like, oh yeah, getting your driver's license rough.
By the way, son, can we see it? It's out in my Jeep. I'll be right back. Let's go. I don't know what tipped him off. I don't know. Your face is covered in pimples and you're clearly fucking 15 years old. Oh,
You're
right.
wearing a Wildcat football t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, as crime boss Frankie Navarro takes a bubble bath with two young babes,
All right.
and Carmen showers at the motel,
All
hubba,
right.
hubba, Agent Osborne polishes his bullets on the motel bed, while his partner, Agent McKinnon, is suffering from some serious bowel issues. Don't you ever let me eat Siamese food in Texas again. What the fuck is Siamese food?
I don't know.
Maybe we need to go to Waco just to figure that out.
Where's the Siamese restaurant?
Yeah.
Excuse me, cowpokes. We're looking for some good Siamese food.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, what you need to do is you need to go right down there to 3rd Street yonder, take a left.
But this brings up an interesting thing. At this point, and I should say this will change, I warm up to it. Watching Action USA, anytime one of these characters talks in this movie, I was just like, shut up and show me more crazy shit, you assholes. Like, after that opening, I was just like fired up. The dialogue is terrible.
It's
Just
horrible.
shut up and throw another guy off of something tall, you shitheads. That's what I'm here to see.
Ew!
I'm so mad. I went outside and I just punched my neighbor in the gut.
I don't know. To me, it was something kind of balancing with it. I liked it.
You do need to take a breath every once in a while.
And it was funny because it was so over the top dramatic. It was just like,
Oh, when he said, "Don't give me that goddamn Siamese food anymore," that hit you in the feels.
it did. It totally did.
But here's why this movie rocks. As soon as Carmen gets out of the shower, there's no small talk with her and Osborne or philosophical jibber jabber about Billy Ray's death. All of a sudden, bad guy Perez comes crashing through the motel window, and both FBI agents fill him full of holes. Then they throw Carmen into their busted up late model Hunter sedan, and another car chase begins. Action USA, baby.
It was always a green late model sedan and
It
Hunter.
really is.
So
Every
just
episode-
like there's just so much driving in this movie.
Every episode on Hunter, the guy was giving him a new beat up gray late model sedan.
No, he was always calling it in. He was always like, "We got a late model sedan." I was like, I'd never heard anybody ever say that. They would be like, "It's a 1988 whatever." It's a late model sedan, head north on such and such.
Doctor, I believe your car in high school, the legendary Mercury Sable, was probably radioed in as a late model sedan.
It was radioed in all right.
You always got us out of those tricky situations. Good work, my man.
Yeehaw!
Only this chase doesn't last long. As our heroes jump an enormous concrete drainage ditch, and when Garrick in the Mercedes tries to slam on his brakes at the last minute, his car flips down in the ditch and explodes into flames. He gets out of the car engulfed in fire, but as he's walking around and is totally encased in flames, he just starts shooting his gun. Like, if I'm going out, I'm going to just hopefully like kill a kid.
As
or
opposed to the
something.
fact that he's in a drainage ditch full of water, he should have been rolling in.
These weren't the smartest menus.
And it was Waco water. So
Well, of course they're not the smartest men. They needed to interrogate him, and they took him for a helicopter ride.
maybe you just burned to death at that point.
All right, let's
I could either burn to death or jump in the Waco water.
Let's get Billy ready to talk. What should we do? Fill him full of lead. Kind of talk, then. Criminal mastermind Frank Navarro is super pissed at these amateur assholes he has working for him, the recently deceased Perez and Garrick, as he walks on a treadmill in his mansion, barking into a cordless phone while drinking a glass of scotch. This guy.
Frankie.
He orders.
You could tell he was an 80s multitasker.
Yeah, he was on top of shit. He orders some of the his other guys, especially Lucky and Hitch, to pick up a real heavy hitter, a gunman named Drago at the airport. Drago can do what the others can't. Drago will get the girl for sure.
Oh, we don't need Drago.
And holy shit. When Frankie's men see this tall, imposing figure in a cowboy hat and trench coat, sporting a huge gold Marlboro belt buckle, crawl out. Dude, a normal-sized little plane pulls up, and they're like watching for him to come off it at the airport. It wheels away. This little single-passenger plane is there, like where he's flying it, like it only holds one dude. He pops up in that thing and crawls out, monster of a man. And then he grabs the back of the plane and pulls it into a parking spot. Dude, I knew in my soul at this moment that this movie was going to not climb slowly, but jump to another level. And
I was like, how can this be imposing? I know it part of me wanted to say like they were doing like a whole little, just a little poke at like, you know, James Bond and Jaws. He would always just, this huge dude just get out of this little thing. But I was like, really? Because it's like, you know, you got the normal plane and that moves, and then there's the tiny little plane. It's like a clown car. I was like,
yeah, but when he crawls out of it, he's bigger than the plane somehow. And dude, he walks over to them in this cowboy outfit, and Hitch says to Mr. Drago, "That's quite an outfit. You heard of Rome? What about it? I'm in Texas, and when in Texas, I dress like a Texan." "Yes, sir. Let's go."
I'm
Well,
here to blend.
As that
No one will
badass,
suspect me.
as that, now Tut puts on his Drago cowboy hat. Doctor, I respect you for keeping it on at all times.
Well, I ain't taking it off. That's for damn sure, you sons of bitches.
You get it. You get it. Was that giant badass is pulling out of the airport terminal, which that's this whole movie. One of them is getting somewhere and the other one's either just leaving or just getting there. Like they're always crossing each other's paths. The buffoon FBI agents woke up late and they're just pulling in. Get this. They missed another flight out of Waco. So they're stuck in Texas.
That damn Siamese food.
These guys cannot. I think it was the Siamese food, Doctor. Osborne calls FBI headquarters, and his boss, Director Conover, played by the one and only William Smith, tells him, "Get your ass to the border where a bunch of fellow agents will be waiting for you to help." I love the gravelly voiced William Smith. Podcast lovers, fans of ours will recognize him. He was the great Count Sodom in 1988's Hell Comes to Frogtown. And also he appeared in like 20, 30 episodes of Hunter. But
yeah.
God damn it, Hunter. I don't know how to get you another late model sedan. I can't. The budget doesn't cover it. God
He was Conan's father at the beginning of
He was Conan's father.
Yes.
He was the Russian super agent in the original Raw Deal.
Yeah.
And God only I think he was in what, in the first Maniac Cop?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Boys, guess when we did Hell Comes to Frogtown?
2018? 2017?
Close. It was on episode 15 in 2015.
Wow.
Oh,
That threw me for a loop too.
Oh,
But yeah, am I wrong?
Siamese food.
We have ate a lot of Siamese food since then, so who knows? Yeah, am I wrong, or is Waco a long way from the Texas border where they're supposed to get to?
in fact, it is so far from the any Texas border.
Yeah, because
Whether
I
it be
think
the
they're
Mexican border and or any of the bordering states. It is, as we like to say here in Central Texas.
It is deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, because it's a good point, because I thought they were trying to get her to the Oklahoma border. Because
That's what Osborne said. We just got to get her to the Oklahoma border. You know, that's like
Yes, but it was 89. So if they had to drive the speed limit, it would have taken days.
especially in that late model sedan.
Yeah, I live
Gas mileage is terrible.
I probably live at least an hour and a half north of Waco, at least, and we'll say an hour and a half north of Waco. And I'm probably at least another hour from the Oklahoma border. And as the Axe pointed out, the speed limit is now 75 the whole way when it was 55 then. So even from where they're at, even if, I mean, nobody knew where they were at, of course, in the movie, but logistically it would have been like at least a 4-hour drive where they were at.
Yeah. According to this movie, it's a 2 or 3 day drive. And by the way, they can't speed because they never say Waco. We just knew it was Waco. But they can't speed because nobody in Texas recognizes or respects their FBI badges.
No, nobody.
Like everywhere they show them, it's a joke. So it's not like they could like, hey, it's cool, we're FBI agents. No, they get the shit. They get them punched in the stomach for that. Well, the FBI agents and Carmen stop at a diner for some lunch, and it seems like she's actually warming up to these two miserable dickheads. Maybe they'll make it out of this mess after all. They work together, right? Right?
It could happen.
Put your head on my shoulder. We can dream about how it was before.
I'll stop anytime you sing, Doctor. Your dulcet tones. Well, nope. They won't. It's not smooth sailing because just then Drago, Hitch, and Lucky walk in the diner and spot their target. How did they find them in all of Texas? They just walk into the diner. There they are.
Well, it was 89. There's only 4 diners in Texas.
It doesn't matter, as the FBI guys both go to the cashier to pay the bill and leave their prize witness Carmen all alone. That's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, these guys are a couple of dipshit federal agents.
They leave her alone, and as tension escalates and pressure, they leave her alone even more. But
Our
here
entire mission hinders on getting this woman to safety. Let's both turn our backs on her for several minutes.
We should both go. We should both go to make sure that she charges right for the pancakes. Carmen, just hang out over there. Well, she just minded her own business by the door when cigar chomping Drago grabs her, shoves her in the bad guy's car, and they race off with her. Drago pulls over to make a payphone call to the boss, Frankie, and let him know that they got her. And while he's gone, Carmen tries to use her smoking body and sweet talk to find a way out of this jam with the other two dudes. But both Hitch and Lucky give her the same line. Don't play me, sweetheart. When Dragu comes back, he tells the boys, get back in the car. We got a job to finish. So she's like, hey, these guys weren't no luck. Maybe I'll try it with this tall drink of water. And what is it exactly that you do? Carmen purrs to Drago. I bury people, bitch. And then he slaps the shit out of her. That's 3 very strong.
Poor Carmen is taking a beating.
If I were her, I would hate all men.
And she does.
Every man she meets punches her in the face.
Or gives her a real hard slap and calls her a...
And they wonder why nowadays people are like, well, you know, women haven't been portrayed right in the movies. What are you talking about? Slap, bitch.
Yes, but on the other hand, Ty, everybody in Action USA gets punched and slapped.
That's true.
Isn't she actually being treated as an equal here?
It is. Technically so.
By the way, I actually, because of his distinct Southern drawl and distinct face, I recognized the actor that played Hitch, and I couldn't think of where. And so I looked at him up on IMDb, and I was like, yes, now I knew I'd seen him before. He has a small role as a bartender in the regrettable sequel, Another 48 Hours.
I
recognize
him. He played this horny uncle in this movie Massacre at Makeout Planet, which we almost did a show on. And I like Hitch so much, maybe we will someday. He had these red long johns, and all he did was sit around drinking moonshine and grabbing ass all day. He's great. He's the surprise of the Drago's the star of this movie. But Hitch just looked like a dude that you living in Texas, you see every day. Like,
yeah.
Just working at the...
I will say I expected nothing from Hitch when I first saw him, and then with him, but with the way he and Drago interacted, they are the star. I mean, they're the spirit of this movie.
We're gonna get to that in just a minute, Doug. I couldn't agree more.
And I thought I recognized Drago but I was wrong. For the most of the movie, I thought he was a Centauri from the last cigar fighter, the
Robert
last
Preston.
Starfighter.
Physically, they look similar.
Yeah,
I mean, Centauri's like 10 inches shorter, but their face looks. They do have a similar face. I'll give you that. I never thought of that, but yeah, I'll give you that. I thought for sure I'd seen this guy in a million things, and I hadn't.
yeah. I looked him up, and I was like, "Holy crap! I don't know."
But as soon as he slaps the shit out of Carmen, the FBI guys show up. How'd they find him? They were like parked in an alley somewhere. All of a sudden, the FBI guys they found him.
Turns out the criminals are a bit as inept as the FBI agents.
Well, there's only one road. You're just going to take 35, and they're going to be somewhere on 35.
They're in the city. They're still in the city, but it doesn't matter. As another shootout goes down, did you guys notice that Panama Agent McKinnon? What was that movie, Doctor, where the guy shot and like every time he shot his gun, it like went up like he acts like he's never shot a gun before in his life. Like every shot is just like recoiling up over his head.
I don't remember. I remember us talking about it.
It was a comedy. Anyway, that also doesn't matter. They rescue Carmen, and they're soon back on the road racing towards the border.
Or the nearest Siamese restaurant.
She's always hungry. The agents and Carmen drive through the towns of Pushton, Duckdole, and Babbittville. Yaks, are those real towns?
Sure. Yeah. Real towns.
I asked the wrong guy. Doctor, are those real places? I've never heard of them.
Man, I've heard of the Duckville Waltz, but I don't know if that's an actual town.
Okay. Well, McKinnon makes a very accurate statement when he says, "That's what I love about Texas. It doesn't matter what little town you're in; they all look just alike." And that is so fucking true.
And to be 100% honest, I have never heard of those places. And we've got 4 people here who have been living in Texas for most of our lives.
No, I get Amber Alerts all the time from missing kids in Texas, and I've never heard of any of these places that these kids are missing. But dude, I thought that was so eerie because the other day I was driving my kid through downtown Belton, Texas, and she was like, "Why are we going to Cody's Pub?" And I'm like, "We're not. We're going to the Speedy Mart to get beers." Don't you love that's the 2 places I take my kid? And I was like, but that's not your fault for thinking that. Every downtown in a small town Texas looks the fucking same.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no Pushton, Texas, and what was the other one? Babbittville.
Duckdole, Duckdole, and Babbittville.
Yeah, those are all made up.
I made those up. Okay, but yeah, every whether you go through a tiny little town or a somewhat larger, all the downtowns have the exact same architecture, the exact same layout. I thought that was kind of
it's pretty close.
It was a telling statement. They pass a sign for the Circle D Ranch, and Carmen suddenly remembers Billy Ray mentioning it. So they squeal off the road, pull in.
Best Siamese food in all of Texas.
Still wonder what that is. Oh, and get this. She remembers he also mentioned something about a windmill, and guess what? On the Circle D Ranch, they see a windmill up in the air. So Osborne climbs up the windmill and finds a cigar box full of beautiful, beautiful diamonds. A bunch of diamonds.
Sweet ice.
McKinnon considers pocketing one of the rocks. There's no official record of how many of these diamonds there are, and he's really worried about his retirement. But Osborne says, "No way, partner. Hey, we're the good guys." Oh, and while they're hanging out at the ranch, I forgot to mention, Osborne and Carmen get to know each other a little better. Yeah. He's a grumpy grouch who admittedly sends all the lady in his life running away. They can't stand him.
Well, yeah, he slaps them.
But her sparkling personality sees something in Osborne. She thinks there might be something there.
She sees beyond the fatigue jacket.
She sees beyond the fatigue jacket.
She's been abused, but then again, she's scared.
He also saw something in Diamond Thief Billy Ray, so I say her judgment in men is questionable. But you know what? I take that back. Billy Ray was kind of a badass. Drinking beers, driving that Corvette, fell out of that helicopter and swam to the shore.
Billy Ray.
He was kind of cool.
In other words, Carmen,
I'm fairly certain those 2 bullets in his chest weren't going to slow him down. He's out right now living his best life.
You want to tell us about it, Billy Ray? Those motherfuckers. Meanwhile, we join back up with Dragu, Hitch, and Lucky as they drive along looking for Carmen and the agents. Boys, this is one of those occasions, and we've said it a couple times here on the podcast, where I would love to see a road trip movie with just these 3 guys in it. I just want to spend time with these dudes. I don't want to spend time with anybody else but these 3 guys. We jump in on their conversation, and you kind of have to figure it out for yourself because it's not really spelled out what they're talking about at the beginning. I had to kind of rewind it and see, but they're talking about Drago's mother who's in a nursing home. But you don't get that at first. They just drop you right in the middle of it. You know what I hate the most? Drago says. What's that? Responds Hitch. The smell of dry piss, alcohol, and death. Hey, at least we still got our moms with us, you know, Hitch says. I'm an orphan, Lucky sighs. There's nothing lucky about that, says Drago. Without our moms, where would we be today? Hitch continues. This fires Drago up. Nowhere. Wiping people's asses, digging ditches. But not me. My mother deserves the best, and I don't give a good goddamn who I have to kill. She's going to live out her life in style. Then he and Hitch bump fists in the front seat and give each other a little nod. They both love their moms. I think the scene is really cool because it's pre-Reservoir Dogs. It's pre-Pulp Fiction. Around this time, we didn't really spend a lot of times with bad guys talking about shit other than the plot. Yeah. Or other than like their mission. And these guys are just cruising, talking about their mom and a nurse. We didn't get to see a lot of cool stuff like this. I mean,
we could have just as easily come into the conversation. They'd have been more philosophical. You know, sometimes I don't know. Am I firing enough bullets? Am I not firing enough bullets?
But that would have been
killed enough guys. Look, I just want to be able to provide for my mom.
That would have been predictable. I just love that it was just a random conversation that just, okay, here's what they're talking about. And I did love Lucky's, I'm an orphan. Ain't nothing lucky about that.
I don't know what it's all for at this point.
I just feel that the actors playing Hitch and Drago they were so good that they pulled it off. And I thought they raised that to another level.
Right. I think that you sub some other people in there in this scene.
But if they didn't raise that up, that scene would have been cut because it would have been terrible. The fact that
that's a good point. They probably were looking at the dailies and said, "Holy shit, keep that in."
If you're watching 2 other guys read those lines, you're sitting there going, "What the fuck?"
I can't believe I wrote that. The director shot it, and these guys pulled it off. Like Action USA. But get this: the conversation between these 2 new friends, Hitch and Drago, is cut short. They drive right past the FBI agent's car out on this country road. Shit, let's kick some educated ass, Drago says. As he spins their muscle car around and starts chasing them. A gunfight ensues, and thankfully, Osborne's able to shoot out one of the bad guy's front tires, letting the men and Carmen escape from Drago's grasp once again. Tut. No, Yak Boy. You know what never escapes my grasp?
What's that?
I'm glad you asked. The delicious premium cigars from the Mighty Drew Estate. Seems like I'm always holding a D stick in my hand. Why wouldn't I? They're delicious and awesome. And one of their tastiest offerings is the Herrera Esteli Miami. Crafted by Level 9 Cuban rollers at the famed El Titan de Bronze on Calle Ocho, the Herrera Esteli Miami is expertly rolled with a impressive Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper.
I think it's called impressive.
Damn it. Over a rich Ecuadorian Sumatran binder with select fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The new look of Herrera Esteli Miami features rich black and gold packaging. It is sharp looking and is available in 5 sizes. We smoked the cigar recently. We all loved it, and it's truly one of Willie Herrera's masterpieces. So jump in your car or jump online right now and get your hands on some. What are you waiting for? Do it now. Go to Famous Smoke Shop, promo code TNCC20. Get you $20 off a box. Do it.
Yeah.
And Cowboy Doc, While we're talking about cool shit, I'd also like to take a hot minute once again to let y'all know about something very cool, Cigar World. There you can meet the doctor in his cowboy hat, doing all sorts of tests and experiments on cigars, shooting his 6-shooters. Cigar World is phenomenal. Bless you, Tut.
Thank you.
No, you unfortunately can't see the doctor with his 6-shooters in his hand, but it is an online site
Something to aim for, I guess.
cigar smokers like you. There you can get cigar news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Also on the site, which I know the doctor will appreciate, is a cigar research panel called the Testing Lab. You want to be the Dr. Fauci of cigars, this is the place to do what you do. You can sign up, give your input on new cigars by taking surveys and testing cigars. Check it out right now at cigarworld.com/testing lab. Well, before we get back to the movie, folks, Tut, I'm in my final third of the cigar. You are nubbing it. Yak boy, you getting down there?
I'm getting down there. Just a little bit left.
Final thoughts.
Good cigar. Didn't really change up the flavors much. It just kind of played with the intensity of them. You know, dialing it back here, pushing it a little up there. Man, I blew through it so damn fast.
It was a quick smoking cigar.
But it's a really, really good cigar too. So it is nothing that is out of the Black Works or the Black Label wheelhouse. I mean, it had that great James Brown profile.
Strength through and through. The strength actually picked up in the final third. So overall, I would say it's a full strength with that coffee and chocolate. I really liked when the chocolate came alive in the middle third.
Yeah.
And the mineral really kept up with that spice, and the spice picked up again in the final third.
Yeah.
Starting getting a little nose tingle again, which is really cool. This is what I like and respect from Black Label. They do kind of, other than the SNR and some of their Connecticut cigars, which I'm honestly a little unfamiliar with. I smoke more of their heavy stuff because I know that's what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah.
For a fucking ballsy movie like Action USA, I wanted a ballsy cigar, and it didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't.
Okay. Price point and construction was flawless. All the relights I've had to do were just from yapping my jaws too much. Great burn line, smooth draw. They really do box press as well. I'm glad I went with the Robusto. I think it probably is a good representation of the line. I'll go Tut first on price point.
Yeah, I'll start out with 11.25.
11.25. Yak boy.
I was going to go 12.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, boys. I guess I forgot to guess.
No, you can't do that.
I'm going to go 10.59.
10.59? Good price.
All right.
What is it? The actual price, MSRP, $11. So you guys all went over. I win tonight. $11 cigar.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad
Which,
at all.
For great construction, really nice coffee, chocolate notes, really nice spice. Man, yeah, performed well.
Very respectable. I wouldn't mind paying it.
I will smoke the Super Deluxe again. And like I said, these were, we tracked these down at Cigar Fellas Cigar Lounge in Davison, Michigan. But please remember, when purchasing some fine Black Label Trading Company cigars or other brands from FamousSmokeShop.com, Tut, jingle.
FamousSmokeShop.com.
Thank you. Use your new favorite promo code. God, you used to give that so much more gusto.
TNCC20.
No, forget it. TNCC20. Use that code at checkout. It'll knock $20 off your purchase of $100 or more. That is like 20%.
TNCC 20. It's got everything you want. Anything you want. Anything you want.
All right. Nice save. That was okay.
Okay.
On a completely unrelated note, never do that again. Okay. Yak Boy, I am going to finish this cigar out while my smash sour Australian Texas beer certainly didn't interfere with it. I thought maybe I should try something else in the final third to see if I had better results. Tell the boys what I am drinking next.
Yes, from Squatters Brewing out of Salt Lake City.
Mormon territory.
But this is from their Hop Rising line of IPAs. This is the Texas Twist Double IPA, as you can read there right on the can. But yes, double IPA. So it's a kicker in alcohol, 9.1%.
Whoa.
They claim it's right at about 72 IBUs, so we'll find out.
38.
No, I put it more at 69.
Call that a Fort Worth air conditioner.
I acted like when you were describing it, like I was like, no.
But
You're like
whether you
9.1.
did it on purpose or inadvertently, it's either way, it's good. Squatters Brewing started back in 1989.
I knew that.
You did you?
I thought
You didn't know it all.
that's what I was going to tell you boys. That's my Texas twist.
Yeah, no, I don't believe
It was funny, Yax, when you were like, it's 9.1, and I kind of shook my head. Dude, I've been drinking this beer for years. This is actually one of my favorite double IPAs. It's very readily available. I like the original Hop Squatters double IPA, but the Texas Twist, it does have more citrus, a little bit of lime, but not at all overbearing. It's a little malty. It's a really, really good double IPA.
any notes of orange? Because I have seen some reviews that said it had sort of a creamsicle type flavor.
I could see that. It's very subtle. Honestly, I haven't had a creamsicle since I was probably 5 years old, so I don't know what that's about. But yeah, a little bit of orange, a little bit of lime, but it's all so buried under the hops, which I again put at 69. And that malt presence, it's just a really tasty double IPA. I think it's going to ride out. I should have switched to this earlier because I think the boldness of that beer is going to really complement the little tiny bit I have of the cigar left.
Time to shoot some educated ass.
Tud up here in Flower Mound, we call that a Waco shampoo.
He's been up there a while. He knows what he's doing. All right. Well, back to the movie. Well, Drago
By the
did.
way, I debated about going backwards to this scene, but we kind of went over one of the scenes that I really, really loved is when the first time that Drago and Hitch really shined for me is when, Hitch is looking at Drago like, oh, who's this upstart guy, big shot coming here. But then when they started comparing prisons, Sing Sing, Leavenworth,
Huntsville.
Pelican Bay, Huntsville. They didn't tell you what all was going on. You had to know these prisons.
Yeah.
And then it was just like this little mutual respect going on. And
but then they break it, and one's like Johnny Cash, and then Drago's like
Waylon Jennings.
Waylon
No, it was
Jennings.
Merle Haggard, I think.
Merle Haggard.
I
think they do another fist bump and like, all right, you're okay.
I'm just these actors, the chemistry just between those two is great.
And that's another scene that would have been so bad if it wasn't for those two. They make that work.
And honestly, I'll say this: we've been doing this 139 episodes, 6 years. I try to pick out as your trusty narrator. I do leave the stuff out, but I always do like when you guys are like, "Hey, there was something that you didn't," because I like that scene too. But I thought a lot of their other ones were a lot funnier and juicier. So no, it didn't begin with the mother's nursing home story. It actually, you would think Drago as the hired gun would be like, fuck these
local yokels.
Yeah. But dude, he actually there actually is a little friendship.
There's
burgeoning.
not only a friendship, but there's even a little mentorship with Lucky there. Now, Lucky delivers that stupid line, I hope to be as what it was like, experienced as you guys one day. That was just like, oh, come on, kid, you could have left that line out. But I like the fact that you've got these three dudes and they've just kind of gelled together real quickly.
They really do. And you'll notice, Tut, I left that line out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Drago did manage to put a hole in the
That's why
gang.
you're the podcast hope. I hope I can be as experienced as you one day.
Stick with me, Tut, you'll live forever. Oh. Remember me as a drain on the craft of podcasting.
That sounds like he's suffering from a Salada car wash.
Drago, with that big ass gun of his, did put a hole in the gang's radiator with his giant hand cannon. So the two agents and Carmen have to pull over to the Melody Hall Ranch dance hall that night to try to do some repairs. Carmen has to use the restroom, so she immediately runs inside where the Texas country band on stage, Cherokee Rose, is rocking.
Get your square dancing boots on.
Looking at that lead singer with the middle school mustache and the flowing thick mullet, is there something you want to tell us, Todd?
I'm just saying it was the best time of my life.
Dude, tell me you guys didn't watch it. I think that was Todd up on stage.
I won't say that I didn't think that.
I'm just saying I had a lot of good times there at the Melody Ranch.
Which apparently is a real honky tonk in Waco.
Still going strong.
Okay, look,
It is considered the largest dance hall in Texas.
we've all been in a place like this at some point in the past.
Oh, hell, I grew up in this place.
Didn't you think so? I'm trying to wonder if they actually brought in. I mean, were these the people who were just there that night? Because it just perfectly to me like captured
They gave
the dance hall honky tonk. Like there's an air of hostility, and in this case,
they brought in 200 actors to play these hicks. They gave them very clear instructions, which we'll get to in a minute.
Hey, boys, when we played back in this time, this was like we would play anywhere between 4 and 6 day stretches the entire week. Now, some days it'd be a little light, but there on that weekend, that crowd was a perfect representation.
I should mention to those of you joining us for the first time, Tut was a traveling country musician back in the, late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
And this was his bread and butter. These country honky tonk country clubs
Played both kinds of music, country and western.
in the South, yes, sir. Well, Osborne sends McKinnon in to keep an eye on her, and that proves to be yet another major miscalculation. Imagine that, these guys making a mistake. The moment African American FBI agent Panama McKinnon steps through the doors, every single eye in this packed country club locks in on him.
Waco.
A black guy in a suit, very uncomfortable. Let's just stare him down. Especially that one dude with the white cowboy hat, pink sleeveless pearl snap button-down shirt,
Ooh-wee.
and the high-waisted Rocky Mountain man jeans.
Tut, was this your normal venue back in the day?
Well, it was the tier 2 of the normal venue. We started out. If you want to start out on the road, you're really going to put your time in at the VFW dance halls, and then you graduate to the Melody Ranch.
Okay, I just yeah, that dude in the candy apple red sleeveless shirt was
On my TV, it looked pink. Did it look red on y'all's?
yeah.
Oh, it was vivid red.
Okay.
He took the time to carefully remove those sleeves.
I'm just saying that I've met the lady who runs this bar many, many times.
Well, she's very adamant as McKinnon comes in. She lets cute, bubbly Carmen run into the bathroom for free. When African American McKinnon comes in, he's like, I just need to get some water from my radiator. My car broke down. She's like,
$2.
$3. I'm an FBI agent. Well, that's a letter for each letter. She clearly wasn't. She clearly worked there too.
CX, even back in the 80s, they didn't want to pay a cover charge.
It may or may not be.
I know. I feel that one because I was like, you know what? And I just like it because her response was, I've seen it all. Just pay the money.
I'll say this. It may or may not be portrayed a little over the top how every single cowboy and cowgirl looks Agent Panama up and down in 1989. But it did make me feel really sympathetic for the guy. I can't empathize because
I loved this because, I mean, besides just everything else, it had a complete like 48 hours feel to it.
Yeah.
I just wanted, you know, the McKinnon actor to kind of take that on.
I never saw 48 Hours.
Pull the Eddie Murphy as Reggie Hammond and start kicking ass.
Yeah, exactly. I never saw 48 Hours, so I can't really comment on it. But it did. I'd like to think in 1989 that it wasn't this blatant that a black guy would walk into a honky tonk bar and every of the 400 people in there would just.
I think there's a reason why it's in this movie.
Okay, well, you were there. I that wasn't my scene. I went into a country western dance hall once, and I felt like an ink spot in a bowl of milk. So I never went back. I can't imagine what this guy felt.
There's some rough places out there.
Okay, well, guess who shows up next at Melody Ranch? Of course, it's Drago and the boys. They found them again somehow. Actually, we'll find out later how they're finding them so quickly. He tells the other two that they can't go inside dressed like that. They'll stand out like a couple of hard-ons. I love that line. So there's two drunk cowboys walking out right then. And Dragu asks them, hey, is everybody in Texas as ugly as you two cow fuckers? And then he punches one dude in the stomach, takes his hat off, puts it on Lucky, and the other guy's like, I'm drunk. I don't care. He just gives him his hat. I don't want to get punched in the stomach. Just take my hat.
Yeah, I've been drinking too many beers.
Stick with me and you'll live forever, boys, Dragu says. Thank you, Lucky says, for the wisdom that you're giving us. We're so lucky to have met you. But as Dragu walks in, Hitch pulls Lucky back and takes off his cowboy hat. You'll never pass for a cowboy. You look like a piece of shit. And he takes his cowboy hat out and puts it on his head, and they walk in together. I love these guys. The racist bartender won't serve McKinnon any water for his busted radiator, so Panama orders a cinnamon schnapps instead. But before he can drink it, the sleeveless cowboy and his crew walk over, and a big guy with him puts a shot glass in his mouth, around his lips, swishes it around in his mouth, and spits it back out into the glass. Dude, these guys are assholes, right, Doctor?
Yes. Oh, my goodness, yes. These are terrible assholes.
And, Doctor, from a communicable disease standpoint, a guy rinsing his booze in his mouth and then giving it back to you, there's going to be so many germs.
My God, did you look at this man? He spends his night in honky-tonk dance halls. The sheer number of microorganisms in that shot glass is beyond comprehension.
Try to comprehend it.
You can't. He's been existing on a diet of cheap trucker speed and booze for the last several hours.
Maybe
he has a career that makes him very happy. Good God, the germs in that shot glass are astronomical.
What if he had had some Siamese food or earlier that day?
My God, man, now you're crossing streams that can't be crossed.
I just like that. It sounds like a song, Trucker Speed and Booze.
Osborne sees Drago and the two other bad guys cornering Carmen on the dance floor. Dude, she's just dancing, having a blast, you know? And then he sees the three Hicks ganging up on his partner, McKinnon, and he knows there's only one thing to do. Fight! He yells as loud as he can as he punches one of the rednecks at the bar. Everyone in the club is happy to join in.
I was like, but literally, you just see like these dudes like hanging out next to the other guy, and it was literally just like they were waiting for someone. I've been waiting for this all night. I hate you.
Dude, there's a guy dancing with this chick, and when he hears that fight, he's like, fight! And he punches that chick out.
Well,
These guys are just waiting. These guys are just waiting to fight.
well, no, not punching the chick out. That was over the top.
Everyone in the place just starts randomly punching each other in the face. Poor Panama gets clocked by the dude in the acid-washed Rocky Mountain jeans, but then a big burly guy helps him up. I'm like, oh, that was nice of him, but nope. He picks him up and tosses him through a wooden trellis. Then some other cowboys help Panama up again to throw him through another wooden trellis. This guy's getting thrown through like 2 walls in 2 seconds. Then Drago, meanwhile, is knocking out random dudes right and left. Anybody that touches his trench coat, just punching everybody. Old leathery cowboys are breaking beer bottles over younger dudes' face. Then they get body slammed on jukeboxes.
How many jukeboxes are in this place?
I'm not going to say this is a better bar fight than Roadhouse because it's not.
Great fight, though.
But it's a great, or what was the Burt Reynolds one we saw?
Hooper.
That was a great bar fight too with Terry Bradshaw. This is top 3, just because it took no ignition. Like there was no sparking incident other than some dude who's like, "Fight, okay,
Fight!"
Listen, I mean, it would have been better if he had just been like, "We need a distraction. How do we get one? Fight!"
It's pandemonium in this place. Everybody's fighting everybody. Best friends that were having a beer together just start punching each other out. It's crazy.
Back in East Texas, we
really
called this a friendly fight.
Just like one little 3-second cutaway. They go back to the old woman at the dick and cover charge, like still $3.
Well, she had a great line when Osborne comes up and shows her the FBI badge because he's the second one after McKinnon. So he shows her the badge and she's like, "It's ladies' night, hun, not FBI night."
She doesn't give a shit. She wants that $3. And if you don't pay it, she gets that dude Tiny to walk over, who's 8 foot tall, to fucking rough you up. Meanwhile, young Tut keeps singing on stage.
That's what you do. That's what you're trained to do, man.
You keep playing.
Call that the Vidor Shuffle, right, Tut?
In fact, Carmen.
It's a classy joint.
That's a
Stage
different
isn't
thing.
covered in chicken wire, so come on.
I named the wrong town.
Yeah, that's
there's no chicken
thing.
wire yaks, but get this: Carmen climbs up on stage, grabs a mic, and takes over lead vocals, and that actually calms the whole room down. Her voice is so damn smooth that people stop punching Agent Panama McKinnon in the gut repeatedly. I think he even says thank you at one point, like, ugh, ugh. Oh, listen to her sing. He's like, thank you. And they start dancing again. They're like, all right, we're not fighting anymore. We're going to dance some more.
That's why you got to keep that music going.
The dude punching them, if you watch it, the dude punching them actually stops and immediately starts applauding for Carmen when her song is over. Tut, in your honky tonk days, did you ever play through a bar fight?
I played through several.
Really?
No, that's literally what you're trained to do. If the fight breaks out, you keep playing.
Who trained you?
Old people.
Travis Tritt?
Old people. No, Travis Tritt never played these honky tonks like this.
Did anybody fight at the Travis Tritt concert?
Well, just the roadies. But that was friendly fights.
Friendly fights. Okay.
Well, yeah, we usually had a betting pool going.
We're learning a lot here tonight, boys. Hitch and Lucky take Agent Osborne out in the parking lot at gunpoint, punch him in the belly a few times, and then they toss him in their car. But luckily, Panama is able to grab Carmen and escape in their ride, which I thought was undrivable because of the radiator, but they squeal out of there and they get away because some drunken cowboys, as they're chasing them, smash into the muscle car so the bad guys cannot chase them. like my smash beer. Pairing grade A+.
That he gave himself.
Who else is going to give it to me? Well, the next
That's called the Pflugerville grading system.
you leave Pflugerville out of this. Pflugerville's a saint.
It's called a Dripping Springs report card.
That I like. Well, the next morning we find Frankie Navarro chomping on a stogie in his bathrobe on the couch at his mansion. He's pulling on a young blonde chick's hair as he explains to her that he's in with the syndicate on this diamond deal, and they mean business. She's just yanking on the chick's hair.
I had no earthly idea what was going on with this. It was just, I mean,
next time we hook up, I'm gonna just yank on Tut's ponytail and like you don't understand.
No, I don't.
And I wonder if that was in the direction because she looked very uncomfortable.
Oh, she looked terrified. I think she was another Waco local or Wacko local. When his men report down to him from upstairs that they can't get a hold of Drago, he orders them to go find his hired gun. I like that one henchman, Doctor. It's kind of like the nurse in Halloween 2, but totally TNCC style. I mean, it could take a while, boss. Just go find him. Oh, it's going to take a while? Well, then don't do it.
Yeah, never mind then. Only keeping us out of prison is at stake here.
It's a total
part of the ball game.
It's a total TNCC henchman. Go find him. Well, I mean, we don't know where he is. It could take a while. Forget it. Just go back to watching TV. I love that dude. We never see him again. Over out yonder, the FBI agent's car finally breaks down in the middle of nowhere. So McKinnon and Carmen set off on foot. Eventually, they come across a group of illegal Mexican immigrant farmhands. And when Panama shows off his badge, the bulk of them just take off running. You know, they don't want to go back. They're busted. But Carmen,
1989, and there is no such thing as racial insensitivity.
But Carmen is able to calm down the two remaining fellas and sweet talk them in Spanish into lending her and McKinnon their truck. She grew up on the farm. She knows how to talk to these guys.
Yeah, by simply saying they're not INS.
But that's not, dude, I'm not in trouble. They actually were illegal immigrants. They ran off at the sign of a badge. I'm not in trouble, right?
What do you think of the little Los Lobos guitar music as they all ran off?
Yeah, they did. The soundtrack did go into a kind of a Los Lobos.
Am I in trouble for that?
But that's a good thing because their missing partner, they got to get moving. Osborne, remember that guy in the fatigue jacket? He's getting his ass kicked by Mr. Dragoo along the side of the road, just punching him repeatedly in the gut. We learned that 32-year-old Osborne was a special forces hotshot back in Saigon. What was going on in Saigon in the 80s?
No, Saigon was Vietnam.
Yeah, he's 32 in 1989. The guy wasn't anywhere near Vietnam. Anyway, he can take a pounding just like Martin Riggs from Endo and Lethal Weapon. Just like that, because it was a copycat of that.
Yeah, you
Call that an Texarkana plot line.
But dude, seriously. Oh, you were one of those special forces guys in Saigon. He was what, 3 then?
He would have been about 18.
It was 89.
Yeah.
79, he'd been 22. So he would have caught it.
So he could have done some stuff in Saigon.
Yeah.
But he would have literally been 18, so it makes no sense. Unless he
been,
lied. Like,
yeah.
I went into the service at 15.
It's not accurate, but Kate, I'm going to do what you've done several times a day. Action USA.
Action USA.
You shadow company pussies.
You shadow company pussies make me laugh. If Doc was here, he'd laugh too. Panama and Carmen pull into a gas station. She goes in to get some food. This chick is always hungry. And he, per FBI procedure, leaves his prize witness alone Well, he wanders off to drain his lizard in the bathroom. Everything that's gone wrong in this movie has come from them leaving this chick alone.
The two worst FBI agents in history.
So, of course, 10 seconds later, the bad guy's muscle car pulls in to get some gas. Drago kicks the doofus gas attendant out of his chair and orders him to fill the tank. Dude, classic Drago. The guy pops up like, dude, this guy, I can't even begin to describe this gas station attendant. But dude, Drago has no patience for me. He just fucking kicks the dude. Fill it up.
Okay, what do you want?
Oh my God. He was not an actor either. That was a local.
Also, the fact that it's 1989, it's Texas, and it's only self-service. There's no full service.
Well, this place here was, yes.
No, it's all lies. Lies, I tell you.
Drago gets full service when he wants full service.
This is what was inaccurate about this movie.
Panama walks out of the John just as Carmen is strutting out of the gas station with their chips. And when they see Lucky kicking a Pepsi machine that didn't give him these guys kick and punch everything. They can't have anything go easy. All right, here's my quarter for a Pepsi can. They haul ass to the farm truck and take off with the bad guys in hot pursuit. Which I say this every episode. This is 139 episodes that I've mentioned hot pursuit in every single one of them. Every single movie we've done has had a hot pursuit. But this movie's pursuits are really hot. Am I right, Doctor?
Yes, you are. Not everyone has had a late model sedan.
Got to have a late model sedan. So this chase starts off in spectacular fashion as an innocent station wagon gets run off the road by the bad guys, crashes clear through a fucking house where a couple of dudes are sitting out front enjoying some mid-afternoon beers and some lawn chairs. They just drove through my living room. The station wagon takes out half the fucking house. And then the driver starts to pull away. Sorry about your house, buddy. And he starts to leave. And then the house, for some unexplainable reason, blows up into flames.
What's going on? A meth lab?
What the fuck?
Dude, it was wonderful. The whole thing was so stupid. It was wonderful.
My favorite part of that was that the innocent dude in the station wagon who drove through their house, he's like, all right, I could wait for the cops. No, fuck that. Sorry about your house, buddy. He starts leaving.
Stop and see if I ran over any babies or anything like that.
No, dude. He takes off and the house just blows into this huge fireball. Another car driven by a man wearing a helmet. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm sure that was just a coincidence. He gets run off the road and crashes into a propane tank, which causes an even bigger explosion. But dude, they totally showed him his car. He had a helmet on. A rare miss by the stunt team on Action USA. When this thing blows up, there's flaming tires flying up 50 feet in the air. This shit is awesome. Like, it's a huge explosion. When we now have just the good guys and the bad guys crashing into another once again, they've driven their way out of the city. They're out in the country. I mentioned Tarantino earlier and the way these chase scenes out in the Texas country are shot. It reminded me a lot. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this movie. It reminded me so much of the cinematography in the last act of his excellent movie, Death Proof. When Kurt Russell's chasing those girls in the muscle cars, just crashing into each other and skidding off the road in the Texas hillside country. I can't believe that Tarantino didn't see Action USA, because this movie reminded me a lot of what I saw in Death Proof.
Maybe he did.
Carmen takes the wheel and slams into the muscle car, which sends Mr. Drago, who's hanging out there with this big-ass gun, flying out the window and tumbling down the side of the road. Hitch shoots Agent Panama, and now that Osborne in the back seat senses that things are getting out of control, he punches Lucky, and the two of them fly out the rear windshield, where they continue to wrestle it out on the trunk of the speeding car. That looked awesome.
Yeah.
Those two dudes going at it on the back of a speeding car. Lucky's gun goes off in the struggle, and it shoots his buddy Hitch behind the wheel. He slumps over. Osborne tosses Lucky off the trunk. He's okay. He lives. And then he manages to jump in the back of the farm truck, which is driving alongside him, driven by Carmen, just as Wounded Hitch looks up from the steering wheel in time to see an enormous semi-truck blocking the entire road from "See you in hell, Lucky." That's his last words. He screams at the top of as the muscle car, dude, he goes under that semi and the top of the muscle car just gets shaved off. And then another huge fireball erupts. Wowzers, what a scene.
Nicely done.
It was nicely done. It was.
I loved the "see you in hell" bit right before he gets a.
Yeah, poor Lucky.
It was perfect.
Poor orphan Lucky. He didn't have enough strikes against him. I'll see you in hell, Lucky. Hey, he was thinking about his best friend before he died. That counts for something. Tut, what are you smoking for your follow-up cigar there?
It's a house only from Smoker's Abbey.
I'm actually smoking a house blend from the Cigar Fellows, where we got Tonight Cigar from in Davison, Michigan. They sent me one of their house blends, and I'm smoking that as well. So I have no idea what it is, but it's good so far.
I was trying to think of. I'll find it a little later. I can't remember who they partnered with to make this. Younger company, but it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, at the hospital, a heavily sedated McKinnon finally, remember he got shot, finally tells his partner why his nickname is Panama. His poor parents never left New Jersey, so they thought of the place as far from Coney Island as they could think of and started calling their son Panama because they wanted him to go far. That was a real tender scene between those two guys, right?
I'm with you, Cade.
Didn't need it, didn't want it, but we got it. That night on a moonlit bridge, Cameron tries to seduce the troubled Osborne in his fatigue jacket. She tries to convince him that he's a good FBI agent.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. If he was, she'd be safe right now. And that Panama's going to be okay, but she fails. He just goes to bed. Which makes zero fucking sense because despite wearing that blue mini dress and those white fringe knee-high cowboy boots for like 4 or 5 days now on the run, she still looks dynamite. But he's troubled, boys. He's troubled.
We know that because of his jacket.
The fatigue jacket. He saw some shit in Saigon at the age of 7. Well, Osborne should have spent the night with her because when Carmen wakes up in her motel room the next morning, she rolls over and there's Drago smiling at her. "I thought you were dead," she says. "They don't make a bullet big enough."
Drago.
They give him some really good lines. Drago drags her down to the lobby where they run into Osborne. These agents love leaving their prize witness alone and unprotected, as we said before. So a foot chase starts up. They're shooting at each other through the motel. They go up to the top floor, down to the bottom floor. They go out into the street where this is where it was really obvious that bystanders were just hanging out to see the big action movie filming in Waco. Then they go into another building and keep shooting at each other. Eventually, everybody runs out of bullets. Finally, the bad guys had revolvers and they'd shot like 200 rounds without reloading. So Osborne punches Lucky out a 20th story window, if not higher. Dude, that building was fucking tall. "You're not so lucky now, asshole." I'm sorry. That was a cool ass stunt. We watched that stuntman wearing Lucky's leather jacket fall and flip over and over again before crashing down on the hood of a car. No bullshit CGI, homies. That was an awesome stunt.
And it even looked like the final when he hit that car. It looked like he jumped from a platform onto the car It wasn't some dummy, weighted dummy that caused the damage. I think that was like he was actually probably 10 feet above and just did a backflip onto the roof of that thing.
But some ballsy stuntman actually took that spill out of that 20-story window, and my God, man, it was awesome. You flabby piece of shit, Drago says, as he and fairly easily, Drago pummels Osborne into dust.
Of course, it's Drago.
Beating the shit out of him. In fact, if Carmen didn't bash Drago over the back with a board full of sharp nails, he would have easily defeated the Special Forces veteran 20 years his junior. You twat, Drago yells as he runs away. I didn't get why he ran away. None of them have guns. She's his, why did he run away?
It's not like Osborne's going to do anything.
They just beat the shit out of him.
He needed a private moment to mourn Lucky's passing.
I think he saw Lucky as the son he never had.
Or wanted.
Or absolutely didn't want. Osborne and Carmen then drive out of the city. And eventually they're within reach of the bridge where he's supposed to meet his director, Conover, and his fellow agents to pass Carmen along to them for her continuing witness protection. But Osborne senses something strange is afoot, so he pulls over in the truck and leaves her a mile away while he borrows some dude's motorbike who was just driving around in circles in a field next to them like an idiot.
So now, after everything else, this is the one time that the FBI badge is going to work. Hey, I need your motorcycle.
Yeah, because it's some
just whip out his gun and be like, "Give me your fucking motorcycle."
It's some Waco dipshit riding a dirt bike in a field. He would have fallen for a plastic badge from a Toys R Us.
Well, he gives it to him and he rides it up to his fellow FBI guys alone. And sure enough, these FBI guys led by Director Conover aren't here to help. They only want the diamonds. It's a double cross, boys. It's a classic fucking double cross.
Bastards.
Maybe those sweet pinky rings that Director Conover was wearing on both hands could have been a tip-off that something strange was afoot. He's got these gorgeous pinky rings on. Conover's, it turns out, here's why Drago is known where they are along. He's been tipping them off. He's been in on this from the beginning. Well, Osborne may be kind of dumb. We've seen that. And he may not be able to punch out an old bastard like Mr. Drago. Oh, by the way, he's there hanging out with the feds. He's in their friendly graces. But Osborne is not crooked, and he ain't handing over those diamonds. At least he didn't plan to, but then Conover pulls out his binoculars and points to a car parked down in a ravine. Was that a ravine, Yax?
It is indeed a ravine.
Okay, I thought it might have been a goalie, but you're right. I think you're right. It's a ravine. And there's a car down there filled with 10 tons of remote-controlled detonated TNT and a tied-up Agent Panama. They stole him from the hospital, put him in this car filled with dynamite. That's their insurance policy. Osborne doesn't really have a choice now. He has to give over the diamonds. I like how they put Panama's little blue blazer over his hospital gown. Let's consider it. That was nice. Well, just as Osborne hands over the bag of diamonds and is about to be shot, Carmen, who he left back in the truck, charges towards them in the farm truck with a Molotov cocktail in her hand.
Yeah.
Drago, for no reason whatsoever, shoots one of the FBI guys just for fun. You fucking yuppie.
What was that? What was that?
They're on the same team.
Drago
Shoots him, jumps on the motorcycle, and pops a long-ass cool wheelie and starts racing towards Carmen's truck. But there's no loyalty among thieves, so Conover pulls out a MAC-10 and starts firing towards Carmen's truck, and in the process, he fills Mr. Drago's back full of bullets. Drago and his motorcycle both fly off the high bridge down into the river. He might have been able to, if anybody could have stopped Carmen, it was Drago, And this fucking whatever
Not gonna be them
Conover,
yuppie assholes.
just
This whole thing is confusing. Why does
no sense. Everything
Drago
goes-
all of a sudden go, "You fucking yuppie," and just shoot that dude?
We didn't plan for this. So what should we do? Do everything wrong. It's crazy.
I loved it, but it was senseless.
It was. Well, Carmen blows up. She ends up driving by. She blows up their car with the Molotov cocktail. And that sends several FBI guys engulfed in flames jumping off the bridge into the water as well. Doctor, do you think after being engulfed in flames and dropping 100 or more feet into the river, those traitorous FBI dudes will ever be able to double cross anybody ever again?
Well, that's a good question, Mr. K. But my God, the flames from the Molotov cocktail and the drop that they made, even if you couldn't see the cable that was attached to one of the stuntmen when he fell over, was a tremendous fall.
I will say, when they're jumping off that bridge, you see a lot of cable work.
I'm afraid it's far too early to tell.
I appreciate that.
Hold on. I'm afraid it's far too early to tell.
Oh, dude, we never got a hat pull off and the glasses pull off. Hold on. I want to see how he's going to top this in a minute. Osborne shoots his boss, Conover, which causes him to remote detonate the TNT. So the car holding Panama explodes into yet another giant fireball. My God, there's a lot of fireballs in this movie. Doctor, gotta step up your game. Do you think after being shot, then yanked out of the hospital bed while on IV fluids, only to be blown to smithereens in a late model sedan, will Panama ever get to fulfill his dream and actually visit the country of Panama? The spin.
I'm afraid it's far too early to tell.
I was wondering what you're going to do. The spin works. The spin works. Folks, if you're not watching us on YouTube, get over there. iTunes is for losers. Watch us on YouTube. Well, I think you're right, Doctor. It is far too early to tell. And guess what? It's far too early to tell. As Osborne throws himself around in mental agony in his fatigue jacket at the loss of his partner,
Call this a Beaumont eulogy.
he hears a voice call out, "Get over here before I kick your ass." It's Panama. He's alive. He escaped the car prior to the explosion. Yes.
Wait, doesn't he say, "Get your ass over here so I can kick it"?
Yes. Dude, he's alive. You know what that means? We get a sequel, baby. Action U.S.A. 2. Carmen is so excited that she plants a kiss on Osborne's lips. And finally, the disgruntled Saigon veteran gives in to the hot babe and just goes with it and gives her the most awkward, weird, closed-mouth kiss I've seen in a long time. Now it's their turn, because it turns out Osborne has a handful of diamonds that fell out of the sack in his pocket, so they can retire early and go on a very long vacation. The end.
The only thing is he's so incompetent that it's actually possible it was an accident.
Yeah, no. I don't think he planned that at all. I think he just the bag.
Ooh, the diamonds. Some of those valuable diamonds I was supposed to keep.
He forgot to tie the bag up, and he just shoved it in his pocket, and it spilled.
I think I left 3 or 4 of them as a tip in that Siamese restaurant.
Well, it's not really.
I paid the cover at the dance hall with diamonds. I'm sorry.
It's not really the end, boys, because there are some amusing bloopers mixed in with the end credits. I especially got a kick out of the clip where they showed Panama's stuntman fly through one of those wooden trellises at the dance hall. And when the director yells cut and the stuntman comes out to some applause by the drunk bar patrons, the real Panama actor comes out and is like, I did it. I did it. Dude, that was cool. That was more
fun.
personality than he ever showed in the actual movie.
It was fun.
And again, like we mentioned earlier, that those little bloopers were where we learned that the original shooting title was A Handful of Trouble. And the only thing notable about that is if you listen to the end credits, there's a rock song playing that's titled Handful of Trouble.
Oh,
So they got the title song like booked and got a band to play it. And then they totally changed the, hey, what would it take to change the chorus of this thing from Handful of Trouble to Action USA? I'm a musician, man. I can't, you're asking for magic here. I can't do that. The end. That is the end. The end. It's over. The movie's over. What'd you guys think? Did you love it?
I did. I thought it was a fun movie. It had a lot of character and spirit, and that's the reason why I liked it. There was stuff you could poke fun at, but I just love a movie with heart.
I loved it. I thought when, to Yax's point, when you first sent the choice, I thought, is this going to be one of those Italian knockoffs of Invasion USA? Because we had recently talked about some of those Italian knockoffs, and I thought, did someone do an Action USA, and it's going to be some version of Chuck Norris's character? But then when I watched the trailer, and then I read the IMDb review, which is always one, you never know what you're getting. This person was like, and I thought they got it accurate. They were like, this is fantastic. They were like, don't think about it, just go along with it. They were like, the first 20 minutes are going to blow your fucking ass away. Like after that, it kind of lets down a little bit, but then it still is really good. It's hard to top the first 20 minutes. And I mean, whoever was writing just said, it goes, this is just crazy stunts, crazy action. You're going to love it. So, and I kind of went into it with that attitude, and yeah, there's obviously there's some silliness and some stupidity, but I think that it, in spite of that, it works out. I think that the fact that they clearly had a bunch of professional stuntmen, and that they knew not to let up on the gas,
Literally,
that worked out great. And then I still think that it would have still been fun to look at, but that you cast those two actors as Drago and Hitch to counterbalance out the very weak performances by the FBI agents. Yet a babe is Carmen, but those two dudes just that was like a here these guys. Like you said, I would watch a movie of those two. I want to watch a movie of Drago's. He comes in with this huge reputation. It's Mr. Drago.
Yeah, I want to see
like a whole other movie of Drago's other shit.
I want to see his other adventures
where he's just kicked ass and built this reputation.
Absolutely. I'll say this. If you're going to call your movie Action USA, you better motherfucking deliver on that ballsy title. And I thought this movie passed the test. It had enough in it. Fuck yeah, you're Action USA.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but my favorite scene in the movie is when that station wagon drove through that house. And then the station wagon driver left. Sorry about your house, buddy. And then the house blew up into flames. That's Action USA to me. It makes no sense. It's completely just explosions upon explosions.
Wouldn't you do that if you crashed a station wagon through somebody's house? Wouldn't you be like, sorry, buddy, and just keep going?
If it was somebody else's fault for once, I think I would like blame them. Like, I'll stay till the cops. That was his fault. But this was not, if it was my fault, yeah, I totally do that. Sorry about your living room. Later, buddy. See you later, Buster.
When it blew up, though, I kind of laughed out loud because I thought the house would just fall apart, but then all of a sudden, just fucking, that's like something out of The Simpsons, or that's like Mole Man's car hitting a bump and then blowing up, like when that house just explodes.
It made no sense. Did you guys also notice, I forgot to mention this earlier, when they go into the Melody Ranch, the country club dance hall, that there were some cowboys giving the dude shit because if you weren't chasing skirts and looking at your motorhome wouldn't have got stranded. The guys whose motorhome was destroyed by the bad guys were in there drinking that night. But the FBI guys have been driving for 2 days. So these guys were way down the road. How? Their motorhome got destroyed. It made no sense.
They just hitched a ride on a horse trailer to the Melody Ranch. They had their priorities in line.
And they were dressed like a bunch of weirdos with like Panama hats but no, Panama's going to get the Agent McKinnon is going to get the cross-eyed looks at the country club. Man, I love this movie. It was fun. It lived up to what I hoped it would be from what I'd read. I'm glad you guys dug it. I sure as hell had fun with it. And after my own personal hell that you guys put me through last week with senior week, I thought this was a safe bet to get everybody on the same page.
And let's hear it for
was a safe bet.
The Texas blonde who wears a denim skirt that can easily be hiked up in the bathroom of a honky tonk.
I forgot
Wait your own turn.
I let that scene slip too.
Dude, yeah, wait your own turn.
At one point, Osborne thinks that Carmen's getting assaulted in the honky tonk bathroom, and he busts in the stall, and there's some fat guy making out with a topless chick. Wait your own turn. I didn't know if he was saying wait your own turn for this chick or wait your own turn for the stall.
Either way, that's a classy lassie right there. That's somebody that might actually put up with a dog.
Yaks or Tut, did you ever get it on in a honky tonk bar bathroom stall?
And the answer to that is no comment.
The answer to that is, let me give you some links.
All right, so if you're going to go with Instagram, go with @TNCC_podcast. See all the pretty pictures there. You can hit us up on Facebook, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. You can hit us up on Twitter @TNCCcast, or you can definitely subscribe to us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. If you're going to do some shopping, you got let's see what's coming up. Father's Day. You definitely need to buy your father some cigars. Head on over to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com. Click on the Famous Smoke Shop banner. It'll automatically input the promo code TNCC20, and it'll save you $20 off an order of $100. Yeah.
And go to, did you mention Instagram?
I did.
Go to Instagram. You could follow Tut and Yak Boys Weasel Fest Adventures on there on our Insta stories. We kind of are selective on what we put on the page, but our Insta stories are active daily with what we're up to, whether it's the boys at Weasel Fest or what we're drinking or what we're eating. We try to drop stuff in there. So I as far as if I was a TNCC fan, Instagram and YouTube would be where it's at. Where it's at.
Blowing up. Like Action USA.
Action USA. I loved Action USA. I'm glad you boys enjoyed it. There's nowhere to go but down from here. How can I follow up Action USA? I'll try my best. Boys, I appreciate you wearing the cowboy hats tonight. Doctor, I appreciate you being consistent with the cowboy hat tonight. Is the doctor frozen?
I don't know. He
is frozen.
He is frozen. I was like, oh my God, he's so sincere about me complimenting on his cowboy hat, but no, his hip squares. He's not blinking.
Oh,
I think we lost the doctor. We did lose the doctor. All right. Well, in all fairness, the doctor had fun tonight. We had fun tonight. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you as always for joining us. Black Label Trading Company, Super Deluxe.
Man, thumbs up. Good job, guys.
3 thumbs up, man. It was a little flavor bomb or strength bomb with some good flavors. We had a bunch of crazy beers tonight that I think did us well. I should have switched to the Texas Twist IPA earlier, but you know what? That fucking Blue Owl once again. It did okay. I like that brewery. So check out our episode page for full notes on the beer and the cigar, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. As always, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Sayonara, motherfuckers. Action USA. We love you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
learn more about the time I found myself dangling upside down from a helicopter while Ron Jeremy held my ankles, and millions of dollars worth of blood diamonds spilled from the pockets of my Bugle Boy slacks, please read my breathtaking tale of action and steamy romance titled Boner USA. That's right, your boy Keith here spent a few years in the late 80s working as a diamond smuggler during the day and a private swimming instructor for the ladies of Cape Coral, Florida at night. And when things got intense in the water, they didn't reach for a life preserver, they reached for Boner USA. As you can probably see, the title kind of wrote itself. So buy the book and be prepared to hang on for dear life. And by that, of course, I mean hang on to Boner USA. And in the meantime, you can learn more about the cigars enjoyed on tonight's episode by visiting ovejanegracigars.com. Do not, and I repeat, do not, under any circumstances, go to bonerusa.com. Trust me on that one, folks. I'm not affiliated with that site in any way, shape, or form, and my lawyers, such as they are, have been notified. I make no claims about any rumors that there may be another shot there of Ron Jeremy holding my ankles that does not involve Bugle Boy slacks or blood diamonds. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.